Hello, welcome. So we're back with Gridiron Hub Live.
Can't hear you.
Fuck off, Will. Will's trying to pretend. Will, you had your lid on a second ago, or did you bottle it or something?
Yeah, I bottled it.
Yeah. Anyway, hi everyone. We're back for another Gridiron Hub Live. Oz joins us again this week. Say hello, Oz.
What up?
This week, so we're going to finish up, which I'm really looking forward to. Finish up the piece that we did on. Oh shit! I'm about to choke. On what the good Britball clubs need to have in place, and we finished the conversation. We put everything up that we wanted to and needed to. But there's one more piece to it, and I'll explain it when we get to it. But essentially, what we're going to do is figure out like what's low hanging fruit within that, and what stuff's a little bit tougher. And so that should give us a little bit of prioritization within it, because that we didn't discuss that. We just discussed that'd be good, and so it'd be nice to get some reality to it. What the good Britball clubs need, yeah, that's the one. So cheers for that, Will. Wilkins piping up in the chat saying he's feeling benched. Yeah, Wilkins been benched. He was part of this conversation. We've still got his input to it, but we dropped him because he's been on twice this week already, and that's enough Wilkins for anyone. That's enough Wilkins for 3 weeks.
I was going to say, I feel like twice in a month is too much Wilkin.
Yeah. But
to be fair, after Monday night, I'd had enough Wilkin.
Yeah, 10 minutes into his one. But yeah, so those of you watching, you'll know that Wilkin and Mikey from the Titans have spun off and got their own show on a Monday now called Britball in Vodcast, which they've used. Brilliant stuff. Like watch the last two. Actually, they did a special show yesterday where it was just Adam interviewing Gabby Knops. That was awesome. So yeah, they're doing good. And I just thought, well, we'll give other people a chance on my one or on this one. Me and Will will talk about that a little bit later, because I'll be taking a step back from this stuff now that it's sort of set up, and I'll become more of like a co-host / guest. And let the guys drive it, let the guys figure out what they want to do with it, which, I'll be there to help, but I don't want to,
I feel like you're trying to steal my role.
Yeah, I want to be as uninvolved as Oz is.
Mate, I turn up, I chat my shit, I insult people, I offend people, and then I bugger off for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, mine will be a little bit different. So what I'm looking to do with the elements I'm involved with. So just like we've done hours of conversation around this. What does a good Britball club need to have in place? And I don't want to just leave that as like moment in time content that people never look at, right? I want to go back and listen to that content and extract the information from it, the stuff that we're going to talk about, and publish it on Gridiron Hub somewhere for people to refer to. And so like there's something positive, something good for it. And then what I want to do is sort of probably once every 3 months, depending on how much content we've got going out and how many ideas the guys have got. I'm thinking once every 3 months, I'll then come on and do another type of thing like that. Like I want to focus on like social media, or focus on websites or whatever, but things that will help clubs run and help clubs get established. So yeah, that's the idea. Ryan said, I feel like an idiot today. Has got the dates mixed up. Yeah, Ryan's due to come on next week. I suppose he could have come on to this one because we got a space, but we'll just leave it with us three for now and leave Ryan in his difficult.
Let's be honest though. I feel like Ryan probably just wakes up and feels like an idiot every morning, so there's not much new.
That's harsh. Ryan is probably, if we counted all the comments over all the, he's on most of the live streams, man, chatting away.
He's more involved.
He's like all in, man.
He's more involved than I am, and I'm sitting here.
Can I just say, I actually think Ryan should share this live stream to all his groups. He must be a member of a load of groups.
Oh yeah, are you sharing this to different groups?
I've done it. I've shared it to all my groups.
Yeah, that's a key to success.
If there's anybody out there who's in an American football group and you think they'd benefit from listening to Oz, actually from Steve.
I was like, what? No one benefits from listening to Oz.
Please share it because it helps.
I live alone.
But yeah, so enough about that. So what we're going to do today, I want to talk about sort of current affairs. There's a couple of things that have come up lately that I want to talk about. I want to look at our picks league, and also look at we haven't had a look at our betting tips yet, but there's quite a good little bit of drama, and I don't think a lot of people know about that, but I want to have a look at that. and then we'll get into prioritizing this workload, these things that clubs can do. So let's start with you guys. Have you guys got any topics, anything top of mind that you wanted to bring up and have a chat about?
Well, I suppose the main one is if you're looking at sort of NFL style, it's the COVID outbreak.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had on. That was top of my mind, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, Titans game, where it's been sort of going backwards and forwards today. It looks like we could end up with Tuesday night football, possibly.
I don't get that. Like, what's so bad that they can't play? I assume it's a Saturday game is scheduled. Sunday game is scheduled.
Sunday game,
but they can play Tuesday.
So it's testing essentially at the moment. From the way that I understand it, is there's what they assume to be an incubation period for the virus. So they had testing on Monday after Sunday's game, and there was 3 players and 5 personnel that tested positive from the Titans. They did extra testing and eliminated the chance of it being false positives. So they're confirmed COVID cases. They did extra testing then again on Tuesday, which is one of those tests has come back today with another player as positive. So it's now 4 confirmed Titans players, 5 confirmed personnel. So what they need to do is they need to essentially continue the testing to see if anybody's going to pop up, like anybody new, because of the incubation period. So that way, if nobody else pops up between now and I'd say Thursday, like if we get another confirmed test tomorrow, it will be so as it stands at the moment, it's probably looking like Monday. If we get another positive tomorrow, it'll be Tuesday. If we get another positive on Friday, they're probably going to push the game right out and move the bye weeks around.
Right.
So that's how it's looking at the moment.
So, am I right in thinking then?
Sorry, Will. You got something to say, did you? Go on.
I'm more important than you. You should know this. No. It's just a question. So, am I right in thinking then the players that have tested positive in no way are going to play next Tuesday? They must be self-isolating now.
Well, yeah, of course. They'll be in quarantine, right? They'll be 2 weeks.
Yeah, the standard policy is after you're confirmed positive, you go into quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right.
Is what they've outlined.
This is my question, right? So there's 9 now personnel, or 5 personnel, 4 players out. At what point do they? So I assume they're just going to replace those people, right? Yeah. Replace the players, get some backup coaches. I don't know, whatever. But the show will go on. At what point is it a showstopper? Like, what if those players were 5 starting, franchise type players? Yeah. But like. Does that matter? Does that play into it? What if the head coach drops out?
Because you look at somebody like Ron Rivera at the moment. Ron Rivera is coaching he's going through cancer treatment. Yeah. And the Washington football team has had to put contingencies in place for if Rivera cannot coach, that I believe it's either their assistant coach or their offensive coordinator becomes head coach. It's a numbers thing. It's a quantity of players, not a quality of players. So we could it could literally come out, because the thing is, due to HIPAA, they don't have to report the players that have tested positive for COVID. All they have to do is they have to report the players who have either been in contact with or contracted the COVID themselves.
Right.
So that's when you get put on the IR, like the COVID list. That's if you either have contracted or have been in contact with someone who's contracted it. And then it comes about with the testing and everything like that. It could literally be Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Corey Davis, AJ Brown, Jonnu Smith, and Taylor Lewan that contract it. And it just means that the Titans have to roll out their backups at QB, RB, tight end, wide receiver, and left tackle.
So why does the Why are they not worried about it impacting the quality of the product that they're putting out?
Because you've got the Jets and the Broncos playing this fucking Thursday, and my God, that is not a quality product.
Just like, surely there's a point where they're like, what if 20 players went down with it?
That's a different thing, because obviously they've increased game day rosters to I think it's that you can carry 54 on game day now. So generally it's usually 53, but they've upped it so you can move it one more. But also they've changed the practice squad contract so you can essentially move people around the day before the game is required to be played.
Right. Okay.
20 people go down, you can't field that 53, 54 man roster in time. So that's what the issue is. It's
are they looking at a classic brick ball forfeit then? Like what happens?
No, it would be a reschedule.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Is there a
Tom
rolling
Foolery making its way to the big show?
Mike. So fucking. Oh, what's the Mike Vrabel texts Mike Tomlin, so the Titans coach texts the Steelers coach. Sorry, mate, can't find transport. Can we reschedule?
Yeah. Oh, flat tire.
Can I
so one of the things
referees go down with it. I'd love to see the coaches ref in the game.
Yeah.
One in the middle.
Yeah, that's another thing. Now the refs will be alright.
Yeah.
Through one of the things that they've reserve can help all this.
Yeah, so that's the short-term IR that Adam's talking about, where they've brought it in this year. So previously, IR, if you went on IR, you had 2 players on your roster that you could put on IR that could be designated to return after a certain amount of time. They've modified the IR rules this year to, if you put on IR, you can be on a short-term IR, which means you only have to miss 3 weeks as a minimum, and then you can come back at any point. So you've seen it with a lot of players that have sustained sort of longer injuries, like Christian McCaffrey, high ankle sprain, they reckon 4 to 6 weeks, short-term IR. Le'Veon Bell, hamstring tear, short-term IR. So that's giving a lot of clubs a bit of movement. But the short-term IR and the COVID IR are essentially the same thing in terms of what you have to remove the player from your active roster, and they cannot be. So with short-term IR, you can still be attending meetings and you can be at practice and stuff. If you put on the COVID IR, you're not even allowed to be in the facility. You are literally alienated from the team for 2 weeks. So one of the things that the league, that has been sort of bandied around for a possible rescheduling is that the Steelers and the Titans don't play this Sunday, and Week 4 becomes the Steelers' official bye week. Then the Ravens and the Steelers game, which is in Week 7, gets pushed to Week 8, which is when both teams do have their bye. And then the Steelers and Titans play in Week 7, which is when the Titans have their scheduled bye. And then so we have the Steelers and Titans get their bye week this week. Steelers and Ravens, they get pushed from Week 7 to Week 8, and then the Steelers play the Titans in Week 7.
Okay. Gavin's popped up and said, Titans can't return to their facility until Saturday. Game's on a Sunday. It's being deemed as an unfair advantage to play the game on Sunday. That's why the game's being pushed till Monday/Tuesday. Yep. And he said that's what he got from ESPN. So
yeah, that was Diana Rossini who mentioned that.
You're unbelievable. Your knowledge of the coverage of this game. Adam's taking a pop at you, Oz.
Yeah, well, he lives in wherever the fuck he lives up north. He's never seen the sun anyway, so he wouldn't know what it looks like.
He's just feeling left out.
I'm so glad Adam's got his
on
carer
to the comments.
Well, no, it's more. I'm just glad he's got his carer with him, able to type out the comments for him. So I want you to say this for me, please.
So the other thing that I wanted to, and this is sort of related to this, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but I briefly opened Twitter at some point today, and what is his name? RG3 at the Ravens.
Robert Griffin.
You should know this, Oz. You're a Ravens fan. I'm surprised if this has gone under your radar. He made a comment along the lines of that money is more important than health. Apparently, like the priorities are messed up and he was blaming the NFL, right? Like blaming the NFL for that. And I looked, as I often do, started to look at the reply. Obviously, there's hundreds of thousands of replies, and I maybe went through 40 of them just like briefly. And I would say 98% of them were people just telling him to shut up and get on with it, and like saying, "Well, you signed up to the contract, you knew what was coming." There was very little support for his sentiment.
Well, it's quite contradictory because of the position of some of the players. Because obviously you have Kirk Cousins come out. I think it was either week 1 or just before the season started when they asked him about was he worried about COVID and things like that, and he was like, "Well, if I die, I die." Like that was literally the quote that he said in the interview. It was like something out of fucking Rocky. If you die, you die. Yeah. But it's like he came out and he's like, we know the risk that we're taking. It is what it is. But I get RG3's thing, because the thing is, I kind of agree with what he's saying, the fact that it is all about the money, because if you look at what was happening in the build-up to this season, at the time, nothing was really happening. It was the NFL and the NFLPA but going backwards and forwards. We want this. We don't want a preseason. We want you to play a preseason. We want to play no preseason. We want you to play one preseason. They were going backwards and forwards, and nothing was getting done. And then when it got to about a month before the season actually started, and it looked like there was going to be something in jeopardy where the season wasn't going to go, next thing you know, like all the information's flying out. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening. We can see this. We can see this. We can see this. When the money's on the line, like the NFL will get shit done because they want that money, and those old white dudes want that paycheck.
But is it fair? Is it fair? Right. So I understand what people are saying. Like, well, you know, you made your bed, we'll lay in it. But this is the first instance that we've seen of the league handling a team, an organization that have had positive test results, right? But would RG3 have known this already? Would he have the knowledge of this is how we're going to handle it if we do get
they had to have a full step-by-step documented process of what was going to happen if an outbreak did happen. That was part of what was listed in the agreement for the NFLPA to essentially agree to come back and do like off-season programs and get ready to go into the league. So it was a thing that was agreed on between both the NFL and the NFLPA of what would happen and what processes were going to be in place for testing, for should players end up on IR, for this, for that, the other thing. So there's a full step-by-step comprehensive like sort of platform of what was going to happen if this happened. That was why they also gave the opt-out period before the season started as well, where players could opt out and they would get paid a stipend of whatever they're like, depending on if they had guaranteed money or if they had non-guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that isn't but a lot of people thought they're like, oh, they were getting free money. It's not. It's an advance. So the opt-out payment that you got, which I think was $150 off the top of my head, it's an advance from your 2021 salary. It's paid back when you play the 2021 season. So they knew what they were getting into, but at the same time, like I can kind of see RG3's perspective because it is like nothing that we've encountered on a league platform before. And it's, you know, you've got the league cracking down every week. They're talking about now taking draft picks away from teams if the coaches are seen not wearing masks and things like that on the sideline. So so they've already fined them. So in week 2,
like big fines, like 100K fines.
I think there was over 3 million in fines that was distributed in week 2 across multiple teams, because there was about 7 teams who didn't have like their coaches with protective equipment. But so there's been more infractions this week with a lot of coaches pulling their mask down. Like the Ravens coach John Harbaugh was one in the Ravens Chiefs game.
Even if you pull your mask down, they were getting you.
He pulled his. He was wearing like a neck gaiter. And he pulled it down and got in the ref's face to shout at the ref about what was an absolute fucking bollocks of a call. They called tripping on one of the tight ends, and he got blocked and fell over. But so they called tripping on it, and then Harbaugh lost his rag, pulled his mask down, and was probably within about 1.5 feet of the ref, screaming at him. And then so he's come out and he said, well, you know, you can't expect coaches not to pull their mask down to communicate and things like that. But the league is obviously taking this really hardline strategy where they're like, we want you to wear your mask 24/7, do this, do that, do this, do that. But at the same time, it's like, it's kind of like the UK. The only thing I can say that's akin to it is the UK government being like, don't sit with people inside your own house and do not socialize with anybody. But at the same time, we're going to give you 50% off to go to this restaurant down the street, so that way they can still make money. So we still need you to eat out, but don't eat in your own house with other families. Like it's really contradictory on the platform that they're doing. They're like, you must wear your mask on the sideline. But then at the same time, they're like, we must play these games, even though these guys have a virus that is in some instances been known to cause like heart defects after the fact. So it's a little bit fucking backwards and forwards.
So anything else? I mean, that's the only thing I had sort of top of mind that I wanted to talk about. There's nothing's happened. Well, actually, Baffa, like over the last couple of weeks, there seemed to have been a lot of people leaving their positions. A board member had gone this week, and they've advertised a new role. Is there any cause for concern there?
I think there's always cause concern with Baffa.
Right, is that a red flag to you guys? Because you know you obviously want your leadership to be stable and solid, but at the same time, there's surely going to be an element of a lot of people coming together and finding out the ways of working and finding their feet and there's going to be friction, right?
For me, obviously we did the HGL special last week, and it kind of opened a lot of our eyes into what BAFA should and shouldn't be doing. And I actually think there should be two facets of BAFA. I think there should be the national governing body side of BAFA, and they should be separate to the people who run the National League.
Well, that's not BAFA then, is it? That's a separate league. That's what we were talking about. Like, BAFA shouldn't run a league.
Yeah, but it's like in football, in soccer, the FA are the national governing body, but they'll have people who run the FA Cup. Like, that's not an issue. It's not necessarily the same people who run the FA. What I'm saying is, if BAFA are going to do it the way they do it, in my eyes, if they want to still control the National League, that's fine, but it should be not the people who are running the national governing body. There should be two separate, independent-ish, as you can be, but you'd still have the same parent kind of company, if you know what I mean. So that's what I'm hoping they do. But for me, the directors just seem to change all the time. So, like,
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't keep tabs on it, but it does seem that there's not even just directors, but like you had Clive and what's the woman's name? I can't remember.
Go on Company's House. I'll show you all the directors that have been and gone.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't show you the board of directors, does it? It just shows you operational. But yeah, like it. Yeah, like there's just been people up and down the stack going, but it's and obviously you'll never know like the real reasons for it, or if the reasons that they give publicly are genuine. But I would assume that any group of people coming together like that to run an organisation of this size in a very difficult time, which it is, right? It's not just people say, oh, they got nothing to do. There's still stuff to get on with, and they're dealing with. They must have constant messages from people saying, "What about this now? What this country are doing this, and what over here they're doing that," and like as well as having to manage it and speak to the various government officials. So I can imagine it's quite difficult for them, and I can imagine there are differences of opinion as to how to move forward with things.
Yeah, I mean they don't get paid for it, do they? As far as I'm aware. So, they're probably doing this as well as other jobs at the same time. And I can imagine it's quite time consuming.
Yeah,
what they're doing. And I've got to be honest, I think a lot of people probably go to BAFA with their absolute best intentions. But when they realise the workload and the additional effort they've got to put in, it probably doesn't last very long.
Get beat down into shells of human beings.
Yeah, I just think people don't understand. This is giving BAFA some credit, which I don't like to do, but I think people probably don't understand the actual workload they have to put in behind the scenes. And as far as I'm aware, now you guys may tell me different, or somebody else might tell me different, they don't get paid for it. And like RG3 said, it's all about the money. Well,
I think if you're Rush, you get your pizza bought for you.
22 pizzas to fucking Leicester.
2 pair of pizzas, please, mate. No, you're right. But they get expenses covered. You don't know about dividends or whatever. Like they'd never disclose any of that stuff.
I've got to be honest.
In terms of salary and employment, there's just one role, which is the CEO.
They get shares in BAFA.
Yeah. If my national governing body are taking dividends, I'm furious.
Why?
Because they should be putting it back into the sport. Coaches don't, what about all the people who put a lot of effort into the sport, like coaches, who don't get any financial reward for it as well? If BAFA are making any form of profit, for me, like, this is just my opinion, they should be put straight back into the sport, 100%.
So John said only three departures and 2 additions, and he shared. We can't click on the link, but he has shared the Company's House. But I don't know if Company's House would list all of the directors like that. I don't know. I don't know if it would list the board. It probably would list executive directors. John's good. John's confirmed no dividends in shares. So it is just expenses covered unless you're the CEO.
Did John change his profile picture in the middle of commenting?
This is his. So this is John's. I believe he may have changed his profile picture, but this is John's Coach Wise thing.
That's fine. That's fine. But go back to the first one of
I know. But
departures.
What I'm saying, if you let me finish,
no.
What I'm saying is, he may have been logged in as one and then changed and logged in as the other to make the comment.
Oh, right.
You know,
so you commented for his personal.
On Android, for some reason, you can't.
Yeah.
It winds me up when you like. We'll post something on Gridiron Hub, and I know when Oz has liked it because it says Gridiron Hub liked it. And I think, no, we did it.
Well, I'll sit there, and I'll like so many times. I mean to cuss. So many times I mean to cuss somebody out from my personal profile, and then it will pop up as Gridiron Hub calling someone a C-bomb, and then I have to delete it, and then like go on my computer. Like log on to Facebook on my computer to deliberately switch profiles to insult someone from my own personal profile because I don't want to make it. I don't want to make it seem like I'm hiding behind a fucking avatar of a website. If you've ever been cussed out, if you've ever been
damaging the brand like that,
if you've ever been cussed out by Gridiron Hub and it hasn't said Steve after it, it was probably me.
John just said I have a football coaching program. Yeah, and that's I don't know. I can't imagine, Oz, that's an oversight on Android. I just don't think you're doing it properly. It just seems odd that you can't do it on Android. There used to be a massive difference between Android and iPhone apps. Like 15 years ago, everything's pretty much the same now.
Well, if someone knows how to fucking change the as long as you don't do it on your work. Yeah, that's right, Stuart. That's right. I'm still on probation for the Pornhub, and I'm not, but if anybody knows how to change that, I can comment from either Gridiron Hub or my own personal one from.
I'll have a look. I'll figure it out for you, mate, and it'll be a quick YouTube search, and it'll be done.
I can't be asked.
I know. It kills me.
I am a bit surprised you let Oz admin the Gridiron Hub.
Oh mate, I've had admin rights of everything for fucking ages.
There you go. John Moore is showing you up.
I'm on a Sony. No, I'm on a Sony.
It doesn't matter. It's the same software.
Okay, John, send me a quick tutorial video.
Yeah, we'll sort
There isn't 3 dots, dickhead. So fuck you, Adam. I don't care.
Say, if Adam Wilkins giving you technological advice, it must be English.
Yeah, but it's wrong because there's no 3 dots on the phone. So fuck him.
We'll figure it out. Just relax, and they're called ellipses. But anyway, right. I'm going to share my screen, and we'll get into this. We'll get into the content. Hold on. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So this is the results from this week's NFL and our picks. And as you guys know, I don't know the NFL that well, right? But I do look out for like some red flags. And look, have you seen this one? Arizona, we had 100%. Sorry, my cursor's not showing up on the screen.
Detroit looked bad. Detroit looked real bad up until that point. And their defense got after the Cardinals, and for some reason, Kyler Murray decided he was going to target 2019 fifth-round pick Keyshawn Johnson as opposed to DeAndre Hopkins when DeAndre Hopkins was wide open on about 4 different plays.
Right.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, "What are you doing? What on earth are you doing?"
Yeah. And then this one, I don't know the story of it, but I just heard the Falcons have thrown away another game. They've done it again. Like, so did they have a big lead? Were they like
it was Big Dick Nick 26-10. So the Falcons are I saw a thing about it. I can't remember. I'm gonna want to try find it. But essentially, it's like teams throwing away multiple 10-point lead or multiple double-digit leads. And the Falcons are the first team to ever do it in 3 straight games. I'll have to search. It was a thing that Field Yates from ESPN put out. But it was just insane to read it. But essentially, Trubisky was playing like Trubisky, looked like absolute trash. Falcons got out to a 26-10 lead. Matt Nagy finally decided that he was going to pull the plug, bench Trubisky. Nick Foles came in, made like...
So there's an actual QB story behind it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the Falcons throwing it away, but a change at the helm for...
Yeah, so obviously Trubisky was... in 2017 draft, the Bears traded up to draft Mitchell Trubisky, and I think it was either 2 or 3 they traded up to get him, but they took him ahead of both Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. So And so they've been copping flack for it about since
that makes
2000.
sense. Like, I know we're
No,
laughing.
not at all. Not at all. Trubisky had played one full season as a college starter. He'd played 1 year at North Carolina. He'd played 12 games as a college starting QB. It didn't make any sense to anybody why they drafted up to take him. Don't get me wrong, Mahomes was really raw coming out of Texas Tech. But Watson was a national champion for Clemson. Like, it made no sense at all for them to go up and get him. But yeah, so he's been struggling since his rookie year, essentially. And then they traded in the offseason, I think, like a 3rd-round pick or a 4th-round pick to the Jaguars for Nick Foles, and took on like his exorbitant salary that the Jaguars paid him for some reason last year, which made no sense at all because they could have waited a few weeks. Everybody knew that the Panthers were going to cut Cam anyway. But Cam decided to sign for the veteran minimum with New England, and look how well that's going for them. But that's something else completely aside. Yeah, Trubisky got benched. Old Nick Foles, the former Super Bowl hero who only seems to thrive when he gets to like take over from someone who's been benched or been injured. Comes in and leads the Bears from a 20. They were down 26-10, and they beat them 30-26.
Wow.
So.
Right, now to our picks league, and so this is the total scores after 3 weeks, right? So those who don't know our picks league, people go on make picks, so they say who they think is going to win each game, and they get a point for getting one right. And after 3 weeks, so we're in week 4 now, Oz, although his name's Aaron Evers, I'll call him Aaron and he hates it.
I do.
Is joint second. Or joint third, I suppose. We got joint first with Alistair and Carwin. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And you're joint third with James Griffin at 34 points.
Cool.
So that's how do you feel about that, Oz?
I feel like for the amount of sort of NFL content that I ingest, probably needed.
It's starting to pay off.
You'd be pretty. It'd be pretty wank if I sit there and just rattle off all of this info for the last 30 minutes, and they're like, "Where's Oz in the picks competition?" Yeah. He's down at 45. He's got 12 right across 3 weeks, and he's entered every game.
Well, so not that much. You're only 2 picks ahead of me.
Hey, but it's 2 picks, isn't it? 2 picks you ain't got.
Yeah, so weren't you crowing about it after week 1? You were like, "Oh, I'm giving it the big one. I'm here to Oz."
Yeah, there might have been like an 8-point swing, but that's not the point.
but that's my point. We're only 3 weeks in.
We've got a lot of people on 32 points.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chalk.
One of them. James is on 31. So I'm just calling out the Gridiron Hub guys, right? James is on 31. Our Daft Kings. The Bring brothers are on 31 and 30. Respectively. Callum, who does the QB armchair QBs, is on 28. Wilkin, who's benched today. What was that, mate?
Look at Wilkin.
I know, yeah. He was sitting pretty though, wasn't he? He was up there and he's just falling back. Who else is there? Craig. Is Craig doing stuff? Oh no, he just messaged. He was involved in sorry, I reckon there's a name for the Madden tournament.
Yeah, the pro tournament, the Madden one.
Steve on 19.
Yeah, well, right. So I forgot to do week 3. So that's after 2 weeks. I was 19 points. So I don't know how I forgot because I'm always reminding everyone, and I'm the one that I was the one that administers it and closes it off, and I just didn't do it. So
you were 19. So you were just above 500 essentially because you were 19 out of 32.
Yeah. No, 32. You're right. Hatch is on. He's lower than me, but I imagine he hasn't. He's missed a week because
he's done 1 week. Hatch has just done 1 week. He's really fucking good. He just never gets the time.
Yeah, he's a nightmare. And is Tyler on here? Someone's just said, "No, where's Tyler?" Tyler needs to be on it. Has he not been putting picks in?
Sack him.
Quinn's on 9 points, so Quinn's only done 1. Owen's got 9. He's done 1.
Frankie's done 1 on 7.
Dom's our administrator, our web developer. So he will only put stuff through if he's testing stuff out, and he's still not in last place, even though he's.
Well, that's because of Ash. Ash is in last on 1.
Yeah. Ash is going to stay there, isn't he? I can't imagine.
I reckon he deliberately did that. Like, knowing Ash as a person, he 100% went out and like, he was probably just trying to pick them all wrong, and ended up getting
them right. Yeah.
Because he knows his shit. Well, kind of. Yeah. So I feel like if he'd tried, he would have been all right. I found the reference tweet that I was looking for from Field Yates. It's over the last 20 seasons, no team has blown multiple 15-point fourth quarter leads in a single season, and the Falcons just did it in back-to-back weeks.
So it's 2 weeks in a row that they've done. They've been record breakers.
15-point, yeah.
Wow. Wilkins said he's letting people win. We know that's nonsense. But yeah, that's where we are. And guys, just to remind you, the one that ends up winning this. So this year we got sponsored by American Football UK, and they're going to buy any NFL jersey for the overall winner. And anyone that gets every pick right in a week, they'll buy an NFL cap for. So, it's worth even if you'll be chasing the pack, as it were, you can still win something by playing any week. So have a look. The links are on the website, and we post them on our social media every couple of days leading up to Thursday. So yeah.
While we're on the picks,
and then
can I call Gridiron Hub out publicly on something? Which I'm sure.
Yeah, go on. What? Something that's not done correctly.
Yeah, you're going to rectify this, I'm sure. But my God, you need to make it so I can see who I picked last week, because I don't have a clue.
Yeah. No, there is a way of doing it, and I can't remember how to do it. But it's obscure. So with our new website design, we're going to start going through. We're doing redesigning the homepage. It looks really cool. You guys would have seen it. I showed you a screenshot of it. It's in test mode now, so I've got to test out some functionality, but it's still being added to. Hoping sort of this time next week, which usually means another month, that we'll be launching it. But then after that, we'll start breaking down each of the component areas and redeveloping them. So Pix is a huge one, because that's we get a lot of traffic into Pix. Obviously, we want to make sure that's a lot more user friendly, because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. So noted, and we're on it. One area that I do want that we haven't spoken about yet is tips. Do you guys ever look at our tip stuff?
No.
So I went through it very briefly. I jumped on the Daft Kings podcast with James to
so they'll look at the fantasy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're at the top of so if you come up here and go to tips, it will default to the current season, and you've got two tabs. One's betting and one's fantasy. And the betting ones, we've got three tipsters. So Adam Wolford, Hatch, and Sean Breen, and every week they provide their own NFL tips, and then we mark whether they got them right, wrong, etc., and then we actually track their performance. The same for our fantasy, but so we've got James and Tyler doing fantasy tips, and they provide tips on. So this is their overall grades. You can look here for how their quarterbacks did, how their running backs did, etc., week on week. So we track everyone's progress. Now, Tyler and James will talk about their fantasy stuff on their own podcast, but I want to focus on this betting stuff because I find this quite interesting. So what we're looking at here is the odds. And you can see the first couple of weeks, the guys had very similar odds across their bets. But then in week 3, Hatch pulled ahead with taking bigger risks, and the other two lads has a little bit of an improvement from Adam, but the Brings play it really safe. They always play it really safe with their bets, right? Then if you look at win-loss, he hasn't updated week 3. I need to get Hatch on that. But if you look at the win-loss, you get to see basically what their win percentage was across all of their bets. And then you've got, this is the key one, the actual profit and loss. So how much money, because what they do is they define their stake. It's typically £10, but they may sometimes say a £5 bet or a £15 bet, depending on how they feel about it. But what this will do is show the actual profit and loss. So if you took on their bets and did them at face value that they asked for, you get to see here what their profit and loss was. So you can see Adam lost £12 the first week. Then he clawed £9 10 back, and I think this week they all did pretty well. But we haven't got the win. I need to have a go at Hatch about that, because that should be there.
They all broke even, by the looks of
it. Yeah. And then the stake. So this just shows you the level of risk. So this one, the stake is the amount of money that you need to put up that they're saying you should put up. So typically it's driven by the number of bets, but sometimes they may say, I'll put 20 quid on this one or whatever. But you can just sort of see, like, so you can see here, Hatch every week is doing 30 quid, but the other guys are fluctuating. And that's some of that's down to their win-loss ratio. Like if they've lost, they want to try and claw it back the next week. And then the potential returns, this is sort of like, if all of their bets came in, where would they end up? So you can see, like, you know, if you were to back their bets, how are they going to come in? And so that's like, yeah, we've done this for a couple of seasons now. So you can actually come up here and drop down to the other seasons and look at them. And there's some really good information in how to, like, you know, who you want to follow with your bets and how they're performing. And if I just click into one of that, actually, I'll click into week 2 because that'll have the results on it as well. But I don't know, I'll just pick Hatches. I don't really know what his look like. But you can see here it tells you who the bet's with, what the bet is. If it won or lost, it will be at the top here. The odds and stake, and then typical Hatch. He's obviously quite funny, Hatch. So he puts in quite funny little descriptions of what his bet is. So basically, with all the tips, they'll give you a tip, tell you what it is, where to go for it, what the odds are, how much to put on, and then obviously you can come back and see if it won, lost, but they give a little explanation as to why that is. So it's just something, like, I think it's a really cool thing that we've done for a while that sort of flies under the radar. So I just want to make sure, I don't want to go into this much detail every week, but I do want to sort of make sure we check in on them and see who's leading in our betting tips, NFL betting tips. So, yeah, there you go. That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Cool.
Now we go to, this is the reason, like, so the main reason we're here. How have the bets got on? Yeah, you can have a look, Ryan. It's there.
GridIronHub.com/tips.
Yeah, have a look at tips, mate. So what we're going to do here, guys, what I've done is, so this is, let me just zoom in. This was what we spent hours on going through, you know, putting the sticky notes in and everything. And that was into all levels, D2, D1 and Prem. And then I extracted some stuff that was more league focused for another time. And then what I've also done, and this is what we're going to focus on today, is put this, it's called a prioritization matrix. And basically what you do is you've got the measurement of how important something is here, low to high, and the ease of its existence, hard to easy. And what I mean by ease of existence is not just setting it up, but also maintaining the existence of something that maybe need to maintain and exist, right? So what Oz, me and Will are going to do now is so what I've done is I've copied and pasted every single one of these sticky notes here. So these are duplicated from up there. And we're going to drop them onto the graph below and give an understanding of where we think, obviously we'll probably argue a bit about it, but where we think the things are that are difficult and hard and important and unimportant for a club to have in place. So, guys, what's that?
I'm going to delete Adams just for the bounce because he's not here.
No, you're not deleting Adams. He's got some good stuff on there. Right, so what we're going to do, so I'm going to set a timer. I haven't got any background music to play or anything, so you guys will have to just tolerate us. You can watch it.
Someone bring up the countdown music.
Countdown? No, that's 30 seconds. It's going to take us longer than 30 seconds.
No, but I've got some.
I do have some non-copyright music actually, and Spotify. I don't know if this will play through though. But
is this Mongolian throat singing?
Yeah, no, that's probably copywritten.
Nah, no chance. Like they know how to copyright up in the Himalayas. No way.
Can you guys hear that music?
No.
Nah.
On the stream?
No.
Nah. Oh,
Cool.
Maybe on stream.
Wow. Anyway, it's there. So I want to set a timer for us. We'll do it for a couple of minutes. So guys, there's no like, just drag and drop as you want, and we'll get going.
Got one for Steve there. Game stats, most important, real easy.
No, don't do that. Really, like so, and in terms of focusing this, we want to base it on like a good club, right? So that's all we're thinking of. Don't really think about like maybe say a steady Div 1 club. Let's probably look at it from that perspective, right?
Wait, wouldn't putting it up there mean that it's?
So high importance and easy to do.
I never know how these fucking graphs work.
Well,
Right, so what I'm judging it by. Will's just dropped membership to Gridiron Hub like above the high importance, but he's also put it on the fucking hard scale as well.
Yeah, I was getting it wrong. All right, point it out. Cheers for
what
that.
the fuck, Will? You're spaz. You never get stuff right. Never.
I'm confused as fuck. I would have thought that should be over here. Like
I've changed it. I've moved it.
We haven't. I'm holding it. So you haven't moved it. You haven't moved it at all. It's right here. Come on, just grab it.
Why is membership to Gridiron Hub bollocks? You've added that. That was never there.
It was. I promise I haven't added it. I promise I haven't added it.
Will, it's right here. Just grab it. You can grab it. It's right there. Just grab it.
Oh,
right. Stop fucking around. Let's get this done.
Just grab it. Come on. Dickhead. Wait, why is that there twice? Let's get rid of that.
I love the fact you accuse me of adding that when I haven't.
Oh, we've got correct club kit in there twice, Steve, so I've just deleted it. You crack on.
What was in twice?
Correct club kit, the one that you just moved.
Ah, right. Cool.
Try it, Adam.
Shit.
It's a different link this week, Adam, so you can't log in.
Right, we done?
Yeah, I'm done.
We done, Oz?
Yeah.
And well, let's get rid of the stupid joke ones first. What's this?
It's one of Will's OG ones.
That was
No, that's been added. There's no way that's there.
No. I swear that's up top.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's nonsense.
Yeah. It's up there at all levels.
Yeah. Right, that's gone. Right, so let's look at the stuff. So what I want to focus on initially is the easy and high important stuff, right? So the stuff that's really in this in this section here. This is the stuff that we're saying is easy to do and is really important to have in place, right?
We can't see your mouse, by the way, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry. But that's fine.
Just give you the heads up.
The bit that I know. I don't know. I wonder if I can change it. So
I can do it. Look, this stuff here.
Yeah,
all of this stuff here.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're saying is, right. So there's a couple of things I disagree with it, but let's go through it. Game film swap is really easy and the highest importance.
I put that there. If you want to be, because you mentioned as a competitive sort of club.
Good club.
Yeah, if you want to be a good club, I feel like game film swap is really easy because
important. It's the most important thing a club can do.
And the
well, I didn't have any of the other ones. It's not my fault. You guys didn't think I didn't grab any of the other ones. That was the one that I grabbed. I felt that was the first one on my side where I was looking.
I'm not saying you grabbed it. I'm asking you why it's there.
Well, because no one else decided anything else was more important or easier.
What was your decision-making process? Why did you think that was up there with the most important things a club could do?
Because I think if you are looking to improve, then game film swapping is very important. Like, I thought it was a massively important thing to do as a club that's looking to be competitive and look to improve.
So more important than having a website?
Yes.
I'd say it's more important than having a website.
We remember, Steve, we fucking went down this rabbit hole for about 30 minutes about what we thought about websites. We both know that you are higher on websites than...
I'm big on marketing.
If anything, I feel like this should also be way higher as well. I didn't see that was that low. I feel like that should literally be like a mandatory requirement.
Yeah, but you're putting them high, but the left to right is easy.
Oh, right. Okay, well, then put it over here.
Fucking hell.
You've got to remember, he's Australian. They do everything backwards.
Yeah, it's upside down. What are you talking about? This is the hardest and lowest importance because it's all upside down to me.
No, yeah. So I do think game film swap is easy if you've got game film and you've got a facility to do that, right? Then it's a piece of piss.
Well, then this should be over here as well.
No. Don't grab that. Because I don't feel that, because I put that one there. I don't feel game film is
easy.
I
think it's important, but I don't think it's easy.
Well, so I think it's important. I've rated, what's that? Probably a 7, 7.5, 8 if you put that on the scale of 0 to 10. So I think it's important, but it's not an easy thing to have in place. But I think based on the logic of that, if you have that in place, then it is easy to get game film swap. So I do think that's fine there. What?
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay,
if you have game film, it's very easy to swap it.
Concussion course is really easy.
Is it?
I don't think it's that easy to get a concussion course, is it?
Well, we never actually.
I don't understand the matrix.
Yeah, no, we never actually broached this. I think all players, not coaches, players should be educated on concussion. You can do that online. Relatively easy. Do it at your rookie sessions. Do it at your initial like rookie, your first session back. Do a half an hour course on concussions. That's all I'm saying. Not full on courses, 6-day courses, but you know, there's plenty of concussion courses out there that take 30 minutes. Just make your players do them.
Just watch the Will Smith movie.
Oh, watch the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy's a doctor. Listen to him. There's starting to get comments, which is cool now. So Ryan said, "Lol, try that in Uniball with film swap."
I don't even want to try Uniball as a whole.
Steve, it was me that liked the website, not those.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice incomplete sentence. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah. To be fair, social media is the way forward more than websites. No.
We've had that note.
Disagree.
Yeah, Ryan, you've missed the boat on that argument. We argued the shit out of that.
And I'll argue it. I know a lot about marketing. I know loads about it. Like, this is a subject I'm a fucking expert in. My missus is a global marketing manager for a huge IT company. We always talk about marketing. I worked in marketing processes.
Sorry,
let me just study it for Gridiron Hub.
I didn't wait. Just 2 seconds. I
need
need to go.
Of your existence online needs to be your website. Everything
I
else
need
points
to go
towards
change
it.
into some looser clothing because I didn't know we were turning this into a dick comparing competition. We're
I'm
just
not
like,
just saying.
this is like
I'm
this.
trying to say
I
these
do
are my
this. I do
credentials.
that. Like I'm in.
These are my credentials.
These are my credentials.
Fuck off. All you needed to do then is just literally drop that mic and walk off the
Yeah, I
screen.
can't. It's on the stand.
Fuck's sake.
Anyway, what I'm saying is, it's a subject I know about, and you won't sway me. Like,
No. I'm on your side. I believe the website is more important than social media as well.
So yeah, so Warren said, agree on websites, but social media is quicker and easier when you. Yeah, absolutely, it is quick and easy. Websites are harder to do without a doubt, but they should be your nucleus. Everything should point towards them.
Social media should funnel to websites, not the other way around.
Yes. Anyway, right. Chris has also said game film isn't easy without volunteers, which is hard and hard in his experience. So he's saying, well, actually, let's jump to that because we've got this up. What do you guys think about this with game film? So I've said it's sort of on the harder side, but it's up there with a lot of importance. But
I think the problem with a lot of game film is it's not good enough quality as well. I think it's really difficult to get good quality game film to swap.
Yeah, I think it's easy enough to get game film. I don't think it's very easy to get quality game film.
Yeah. Okay. So do we move that, or is that well positioned?
I think we could move that to the left on the other, like outside of these brackets that we've got here, because like Chris has said, it is very hard. Like if we change that to quality game film, by the way.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point. We're not talking about standing with your iPhone or your Samsung if it can, your Sony if it can do it. Who knows? They may not have the free dots.
It can definitely take a video, but it can't change Facebook profiles.
Okay, right. Let's go through this. It's of extremely high importance and very easy to have the correct balls.
Yeah.
It's of extremely high importance and very easy to be first aid trained for everyone. And this was everyone being first aid trained, right?
It actually is. First aid courses are easy to put people on, and they are very fucking important.
I also think BAFCA should be putting people on them.
There's a different topic, but yeah, you're right. I don't disagree with that. They should do like they put on an online session and people can attend it and get qualified. Anyway, John's come up and said quality comes with how it's used, or high quality, that is. Agree. He's talking about the game film, but we are talking about like resolution, angle, consistency. I think that stuff does come into it. It makes. I think that does make a huge difference. It can be very frustrating watching game film that was shot from 40 yards away.
I've seen some where it was shot from one of the end zones.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah, and you're just like, well, I can see stuff sometimes if the ball's this end and we've got it. Great. Anyway, right. Then we're saying minimum level 1 for all coaches is very like the most high level of importance and extremely easy to have in place.
Yeah, it probably should be. They should be swapped around though. I feel like at least 3 level 1s is easier to have than minimum level 1 all coaches.
Yeah.
So that was all I was saying. But again, I think level 1 is actually it's easy enough to get people on level 1 courses.
Yeah, and I think, do you know what? I think you should also put like a time parameter in that. So like, a coach that's been involved like in the game should within their first year of coaching have achieved level 1.
Yeah.
I still firmly believe that you could do a level 1 coach on Zoom, and I'll argue that point with anybody.
Sorry, you only do what?
I still firmly believe you could do a level 1 session, like a training course or whatever you call it, on Zoom.
We've already had John Wise say that's not possible.
No, it's because you've got to get out and you've got to run the drills.
Stand away from your camera and coach somebody via.
Shut up!
Fuck off!
I'm being serious.
No,
that's why we're telling. That's why we know you're being serious. That's why we're telling you.
That's it. Right, he's gone.
Yeah, fuck him. If you were kidding around, we wouldn't hate you so much. But the fact you're being serious is why we're telling you to can it.
Actually, with the league site, do we even do anti-doping? As I've never seen it happen, people being tested.
If we did anti-doping, I know a fair few people who wouldn't be allowed to play.
That's it. That's how you ruin Britball, Ryan.
there's a definite club that would be fair few players if we did anti-doping. I'll tell you that now. Yeah.
This costs a fortune, mate. They only do it if suspected, I'd say. He's talking about the testing. Yeah. That is true, Sean.
I like Chris Warren's idea.
What could?
I'm assuming this is for the Zoom thing.
Like, let's be fair, and I think it was John who said it himself. There's very, very, very few people who've actually failed the level 1, no matter how dreadful they are. For me, what's more important about level 1 is the understanding of safety aspects, how to fit helmets, how to fit pads, etc., etc. All the safety stuff, all the heads-up stuff, all the concussion stuff is way more important than how you deliver a drill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Learning not to go, don't take snaps under center when you're coaching kids or women.
Yeah, exactly.
I question this one.
Completely right.
So I absolutely agree with the level of importance of paying 100% of your subs. I do not think it's a very easy.
No. It's the amount of the clubs that I've been with, the amount of people that you have getting like every week. Every week you'll get like there's a certain person within the club that has put it upon themselves to chase up for subs, and they'll be screaming at you on coming out of trainings. Pay your subs.
I was looking at it from a player's point of view because you just pay your subs, but you're right. For clubs, it's very difficult to collect. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, John's just. We did know that, John. There is an anti-doping.
We just don't think it's actively enforced.
Yeah. And if I remember rightly, I remember talking to a coach once, and he said that he was playing at some higher level, and when they come to do the testing, it wasn't random, and he got to pick the players, and he was like, "Oh yeah." So he knew the players that were a bit more clean living, and just picked them. So yeah, I know that's a completely different conversation, but it's just
mate, that is some prejudice.
Yeah. Ryan said, "Still stick my suggestion of including first aid in the." I think it makes sense. I don't know how viable that is, Ryan, but yeah, it does make sense that they come hand in hand. What Sean shared, the anti-doping policy for those of you that want it's on Facebook. Assessment of competence in person is vital as coaching is behaviour and not just level of knowledge. There you go, Will. I think that's the closest to 2 fingers that John Wise does.
We'll have to agree to disagree because I'm telling you now.
What he's also saying is Will would have failed level 1 because Will is not competent.
Well, yeah, I passed my level 1, so it shows how competent level 1 coaching qualification is.
Oh, so Stuart said he's seen anti-doping being done in the Britball final at IFAF events and at IFAF events too. After regular season games, though, it's very unlikely. Yeah.
Don't get me started on IFAF. IFAF is a massive shit show. The amount of stories I could tell you about IFAF are just unreal.
So website, we've got huge amount of importance on it. Put like 8.5, 9, and it's relatively easy. So Oz, you placed that one if I remember rightly.
Which one?
I was about to grab it and you grabbed it.
Where are we looking?
Here.
Website.
Yeah,
I feel like setting up a rudimentary website is relatively easy. There's a lot of places.
It's also the running of it, right? I don't think from what I see out in the British sphere, it's not many of them are very well maintained. So I think
I wasn't thinking maintenance. I was thinking setting it up.
Yeah.
So if we're including maintenance, I would still leave it at that level.
The reason I put existence is like everything. I'm
not gonna lie. I didn't even read the fucking thing.
I did explain it.
I never listened to you anyway.
I know.
If we're talking about through its entire life cycle, I would leave it at that level of importance because, as we said, I agreed with you. I believe a website is important, but in terms of maintenance, I don't believe it's an easy thing to do because. So, excuse me. Look at the amount of hard work that you've had to pour into getting Dom to do updates and things like that when you're looking at updating and changing a website. So
yeah, that's different though. Like that's web development. I mean, he's paid to do web development, right? Like, so that's different. What I mean is, like, you get a website structure in place, and all you need to do is fill it up with information. So this is our current squad. This is where you find us. That's
it's still not overly simple, because the thing is, if you have a person that's doing that's, let's say, a team member, like they're a player, and they leave to go to another club, you've still got to find somebody to fill that role.
Yeah. Well, there was quite a famous example of that in Britball that I know of, with a player that was like, he was all in. Like the club were all in with him. Built the website, maintained it, all the pictures, all the everything, did everything, and then he fell out with him and left, and took the website with him. And took it down.
Oh, fuck off!
It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah. No, I've never got involved in. I know I did get involved with the Knights website for a little bit, but not for long. I've got my own one to do now. John said some elements can be covered remotely on level 1, like the USA football course, which is integrated in the current set. Hashtag not two fingers up. Oh, look, he's been nice to you.
He's too polite.
He's the nicest bloke in the world, mate.
Come on, John. Show us a little bit of dog once in a while.
Get like a voodoo doll, John, and look, stab it. One of Will. Anyway, right. Let's go on. Let's carry on. Film session. So film session to me is let's get this right before we then go in. Film session is we've got game film, and now we're going to have a session with the coaches to review it, to talk about it. Either that's the opponent's game film or our game film. That's a film session, right? So is that what, like a 7 of importance and around a little bit more of ease of existence?
I don't think it's easy film sessions.
I don't think it should be there if where's the midweek practice? Oh, because the thing is, midweek practice and film session are probably going to be just as hard to run as each other.
I placed that. I think there's midweek training.
Yeah, so it should be like, because the thing is, in terms of ease of existence, they're going to be about as difficult to set up as each other, because you're going to be looking to run your film session probably in midweek, and if you can't get people to practice, how are you getting people to your film session?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's carry on with this. Will, go on. Let's hear it. Apparently, the easiest thing you can do as a club is set up personal accident insurance.
No. The easiest thing to do as a club.
Tell me. Do you understand the scale, Will?
Yeah, it's not to set it up. It's to. I'm trying to the best. You've got to get your players to set it up. Explain to your players what it is, and explain to them they need to set it up themselves. So
isn't that quite difficult to do?
What's that?
Isn't that quite difficult to do?
No. You can type it on the internet and get a quote for American football personal accident insurance in about 2 minutes.
All right, let's have a look.
What did you say before? This is my whatever you said on your mic drop.
This is my credentials.
These are my credentials. That doesn't make sense. Those aren't credentials. You didn't list credentials. You just talked about that. I told the background story as to why I know and love marketing.
As we've discussed,
so I've got an introductory discount of 30% off for American football insurance.
This is probably the most true statement that I've seen. I am really enjoying this one. It's good fun tonight.
No.
So American football players insurance. I've got a 30% introductory discount. Why do I need personal sports insurance?
This is the bit that makes it difficult for me, Will. So while you I think and I'm not saying you're an expert in this, right? And you know it, but people don't know it. And if I don't have much money, and my club's trying to convince me this is an optional thing that I don't need to have.
1 second.
I think it's quite a difficult thing to convince people.
There's one question you need to ask. Are you self-employed?
No. I get public liability of up to 1 million.
You don't need it that much. If you're self-employed and you've not got personal accident,
I'm not. I just told you no. Let's go through let's go through your sales pitch.
You don't need it as much
No.
as you would if you weren't.
Oh, wait, that's it. So it's not that easy, is it?
Okay, no. In Will's defence, I've currently got a quote for 1 million, up to £1 million of public liability and professional indemnity of up to 1 million, and it's going to cost me £28.70 for the year. Or
I'm not saying
£2 or £2.39.
Not affordable. I completely fundamentally agree with it.
It's been pretty easy to set up, is what I'm saying.
Easy to set up, but easy to have in play. Easy for a club. This is from a club's perspective, right? And what we're saying is the club are getting the players to set up their own personal accident insurance. I do not think that's an easy thing to do.
Yeah,
Shit, these guys are pushy though. I literally just went to click on the little small X to close down the tab, and a big pop-up in the middle of the screen has gone, "Can you please tell us why you're not ready to buy the policy now?"
Not abandoned cart. Ashley Huggins. Hi, Ash. I'm pretty sure he's come on before. Don't people assume that it's included in your BAFA membership though, and would not pay the extra if they were? Yeah. So what you're saying, Will, and it's a good point, Ash. What you're saying, Will, is the club's got a responsibility to explain that to the players and explain what they get by doing this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the personal accident insurance on the BAFA policy, and I am saying this in an official capacity, is not worth the paper it's written on. It's really not worth the paper it's written on. If you're self-employed or you have self-employed players in your club, you need to make them aware of that fact and advise them that they need to take out their own personal accident insurance. They could even, it's a way a club's making money.
John has spoken.
Well, that's what I said. I agree with John.
Well, so it's not easy then.
It is easy. You told them about it. They're adults. They can make their own decisions to whether they're going to take personal accident insurance out or not, but you've made them aware. Every club...
Oh, so you're just saying to just let people know about it, not whether they get it in place.
Well, you can't...
To promote it. The promotion of personal accident insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know what?
Let's change that because it's also causing all sorts of confusion.
The clubs can actually make money on the personal accident insurance because there's websites you can go on for sports insurance where you can provide an affiliate link.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Promotion, I'd say knowledge of. Because you don't necessarily want to promote it to everybody. Like I say, if you're not self-employed and your employee's happy to pay you for 6 weeks while you're sat at home with a broken, leg.
Yeah. So in my first season, Steve, when I did my knee against Solent, and then I ended up missing about 5 weeks or 6 weeks, I didn't know that if I wanted to take time off work, I would have only got statutory, because back home we have what's called ACC, which is essentially it's like it's kind of like just public insurance for if you're not working, if you're injured playing sport or something like that. And it's essentially what happens is you put a claim in, it's always accepted, doesn't matter what you're doing. I've never ever heard of one getting rejected. But the government will pay, like if you have time off work, your work will pay essentially 80% of your wage before tax, and that's just what you get. And that's if you're injured at work. If you're injured outside of work, then the government will pay you 80% of your wage before tax. And I figured that the UK, being the fucking progressive country that it was when I got here, and I injured myself playing sport, I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll take some time off work. And I took like 2 weeks off, and then I got my pay packet, and my pay packet had been fucking slashed. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, have you not got like personal insurance?" And I was like, "No, why the fuck would I need personal insurance?" So I feel like it would be something that should be, well, not should be, but it would be nice for it to be informed of people who may not know that if you do get hurt playing sport, there is no government subsidy, and your work will not pay you if you take time off. So maybe you should look at insurance.
Yeah. So a few comments on this. Insurance is always a good subject, isn't it? We need to get you and Ash together, Will, to talk.
Mate.
Chris has said, he agrees it's important, but feels it's like adding to the barrier of entry shit heap. Which
I think you've got a duty of care, though. You've got a duty of care, and like somebody's rightfully pointed out, a lot of players will feel that the BAFTA policy is good enough to cover them if they're injured. We all know it's not, and I know Steve knows it's not, and Oz is, knows it's not. It's not good enough. And I think as clubs, they just need to make people aware. And there is clubs I've played at where one of the first things they said to me is, go and look at personal accident insurance. You're bound to get injured playing this sport. Go and have a look. That's it.
Chris has then followed up with my chairman hat on. The affiliate rate idea is something to look at. Yeah, definitely. Any revenue streams that we can promote for clubs. Do you know what we should probably do something as Gridiron Hub to point people in the right direction on that.
Waystone Financial. They're based out in.
Right. Anyway, because they've approached me, everyone has. Alex. Sorry. Ash has popped back up and said, why should clubs have to explain that the NGB's insurance is useless? How much faith would you have in them, BAFTA, in if you're being told that when it comes to other things that they're in charge of?
Can I just say, BAFTA admit that themselves. If you read their insurance website, they literally say we encourage people to get their own personal accident insurance.
And the thing is, that's the state of play, right? That's how it is. And as a club, you should let your players know about it. I think that makes sense. And I must admit, I can remember when since I started playing, in the UK, 2006, I can remember back then everyone saying it. The insurance is crap. Make sure you get whatever cover and all this. And it's just been around the game for so long.
Campbell's back again. He loves arguing with me.
Campbell's quality.
He loves arguing with me.
He's great. We need to get Campbell on here, man, because he's funny. Rainsy said, Steve Rains has said, better to explain it before rather than after injury. Yeah, as Oz found out.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I'd known. I literally wish I'd known, because I went into the game thinking it would be the same as what it was back home, and it was not.
So Campbell has said the NGB insurance isn't useless. People just completely misunderstand what type of insurance it is. It's not meant to give you a payout. Lack of info is the failure. Given they make everyone register online, they should put a disclaimer on the registration portal. That's a good point.
Okay,
so they know that everyone's eyes are on it.
What is the NGB insurance?
I completely agree with the last two sentences, but completely disagree with the first two sentences.
Yeah.
It is useless. People misunderstand it for the wrong reasons. They feel that if they're going to be injured, they're going to get a nice payout to cover them not being able to work. Whereas I think, Steve, did you say you'd done your knee in or something, and it was like 50
big time, yeah.
And they offered you 50 quid? It's ridiculous.
No, it was it was about, I think they said you'd get 150 quid, and then there was all sorts of issues about the how to get it. It needed to be on the ref's report, and I had to chase the refs up for it, and I was like, oh, get fucked. I got video of it. You can see my knee bent back, and then me on the floor holding it.
Yeah, the personal accident insurance provided by BAFTA is useless. And this is me coming from a professional point of view who's read it a few times. The personal accident insurance is useless. There's no argument about that, but you are right, and they do have a disclaimer on the policy to say, look, you need to take out your own personal accident insurance, but you're right, that should be on the registration portal.
What is it there to do?
Yeah, it's a good. That's a really good shout.
What is the purpose of it?
What's it there for? To look good. So BAFTA can tell people they've got they've got personal accident insurance. This is the thing with insurance policies, okay? How many times do you take out a car policy and there's covers on there you're never going to claim for?
No, but literally, what is the reasoning behind them having that insurance there? It's
because they can tell people they're insured for injury. It's like I could tell you your car's insured. I mean, I don't know if you drive, but I could say I'm going to cover your car for you. And then when you have a claim and you find out I'm only going to pay you up to, you've got a £5,000 excess on your £6,000 car.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's not really covered.
My car's insured, but you're giving me third-party fire and theft.
Yeah, with insurance, it's literally no good. It's literally pointless.
So So they've obviously put it on there. What do they do with it? Is it more? Right, it covers you and BAFTA for public liability. Right, I am not an insurance person. I don't know what public liability is. I am a public liability when I drink, but I don't really know what public liability insurances.
It's not just public liability insurance.
Cover as an income replacement, the insurance chuck a car time in for somebody. So what is it? What is it there to do? Like when you say public liability, what is the purpose of that? Is that so you can't sue BAFA if you get injured playing football? Is that what it is? Like, right? I think the insurance is in place to mainly cover third-party injuries. So if we get smashed into a spectator, they are covered against claims against you.
There is a common misconception going on here. I am not for 1 second saying that the whole BAFA, because the BAFA insurance policy has many different facets to it. It's got public liability, it's got employer's liability, it's got professional indemnity, and it does have personal accident insurance. You know, you can't argue that point with me. The 100% has personal accident insurance. So if somebody is injured whilst playing American football, they can claim some financial remuneration. My point is, you can't.
Can we get a clip of Will's brain just freezing? Yeah. It's about 3 seconds. Do you smell burnt toast? Yeah, do you smell burnt toast? I was gonna say the same thing.
Mate, my mind's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, certainly with insurance.
We need to save this up for an insurance special, because I think getting you and Ash together on this and me and Oz off of it.
Well, yeah, I just don't know enough. I'm literally.
I'm asking the same questions are coming up in the chat, and I think, what about that?
I'm serious. Someone's like, it covers you from professional indemnity. And I'm like, what the fuck is professional indemnity?
Good for them.
Does that mean I can put my club kit on and go call someone a prick and not get sued? Like, what? I don't understand.
I mean, I've literally just linked you guys in here to the personal accident claims form. It does cover if you injure yourself. It's just that portion of the policy is not worth the personal accident claim form. That's from the BAFA website. It's not worth the paper it's written on.
It's not written on paper, mate. That's my screen.
Yeah, and Steve's got a real expensive screen.
Yeah, mate. That's like 4K.
Yeah. Oh god, we're gonna tilt Will off the face of the earth.
And actually, it's probably not worth that. Let's get through these comments.
I'm very passionate about this. Like,
I know, that's why it's so funny. But you're not wrong. You're just
arguing with the wrong people because we have no idea.
Yeah.
Why don't BAFA go with insurance that would add extra revenue, which would help all clubs gain extra revenue?
That's a Ryan special. I don't have a clue what he's saying.
Yeah, I think he's not understanding the affiliate structure. Like, if BAFA set it up, then why would they hand over their kickbacks? Anyway, if we all know it's useless, why do we accept it as members? Why aren't BAFA challenged on it? And then
BAFA have been challenged on it.
And then John Wise has popped up, said maybe Pete Ackley, the CEO, has been able to give it some attention.
Going back, was it Ashley who was like, why aren't BAFA challenged on it? Because there's a lot of shit BAFA does wrong that we that they aren't challenged on, or they are challenged on. They just don't give a shit. And yes, Will is going to rage quit. Did you not see his brain? Will's brain just rage quit the live stream.
Look at this. Does it look like I've given Stuart his hair?
No, it looks like you've given Stuart a forehead.
A massive forehead, yeah. I'm trying to line up. It's really difficult to do it.
It looks like you two. If you're standing like that, it looks like you turn up at 9, and Stuart turns up at 9. His airline turns up at 9:30.
This is doing my nut. There we go.
Got 15 quid Uber ride from fucking Stuart's eyebrows to your hairline.
I've got such a big forehead, it's killing me.
Yeah, mate.
Will's going to rage quit in a minute. So Campbell's popped up. I'm not sure that I'd not just make it worse with people misinterpreting. A layman's explanation is probably more appropriate. Even an FAQ style thing that says what it does and doesn't do. Yeah. So just on this point and on everything. So everything that we've talked about, I'm going to go back through the hours of content and write down, things that we're going to publish on Gridiron Hub to help clubs. But I'm also going to write down a number of things that we've talked about that we want to present to BAFA as like, we think we've discussed things with, a group of people, and we think these improvements should be considered. So I will table, like, this will get sent to Buffer. I don't know. I ain't got like a set deadline, but in the next month or so. And once we get answers for it, well, they may even want to come on. I don't think they want to do a live show.
Come and talk insurance with Will.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I do. I don't see why they wouldn't want to answer and address this stuff if it's done in the right spirit. We could end up with some answers for this stuff, and I think the insurance thing has always been the same. And I mean, I don't know. This is an interesting point. Will, do you know of, like, how does this insurance marry up against insurance from other sports?
I don't have a clue. I could look into it.
Because
what about your credentials? What about your credentials?
Yeah, you are not thinking about credentials. So
to give BAFA some credit, I'd imagine a lot of clubs are in line with this. A lot of NGB.
But that's what I'm saying. So why are we kicking off? Because it's such a high risk of injury.
What does NGB stand for?
National Governing Body.
Right. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
So
I think we do need to look at it, and are we only holding them to account here because it is we are likely to get injured, and it could be such a bad thing, and they should look after. But to your point, it should only be the self-employed, right?
I genuinely believe they should remove that section from the policy altogether.
The what? Sorry.
That personal accident section should be removed from the policy altogether.
And just say, go get your own insurance.
Yeah, because it's giving people false. No one reads the insurance documents. No one's ever read the BAFA insurance documents unless they make a claim.
Ash did.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but that's because Ash sells insurance.
You sign up for, your local team at American football. You don't go and have a look at what income protection you've got. You just get told you've got not income protection. You've got personal accident insurance.
I'm literally living proof of that.
You don't look into it. So what I'm saying is just scrap it. Like, it might save people £1, but I tell you what, it'd be worth saving £1 on them.
They'll keep the £1. They'll keep the £1.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are you talking about?
But no,
Don't be
you're
stupid.
Right. And I think that's what I think we need to contextualize this against other sports, but also against other high risk sports as well. What does that cover look like? I'd be really interested in knowing that. Campbell's come up again. Sorry, Campbell, it has cut off your comment, but let's read it. So Ryan, insurance doesn't bring revenue, but it also does not is not appropriate for everyone to be given the same cover. Someone who owns their own company needs different cover from someone with minimum wage and a bar job. Someone with 3 kids and a mortgage needs different cover from a student. Someone with an injury history needs different cover from someone without. I've had an injury, so I need cover with
moratorium.
Yep. Which is a fancy word for saying they won't cover. Oh yeah, when they pre-existing.
Because we're also breaching into private medical insurance, which is different.
Is that Bupa?
Yes. So private medical insurance is. Do you know what?
So I've got that, so I don't care about this. Let's move on.
Can I just say, on that note, again, if you can afford private medical insurance, take it out.
Mate, Steve can afford fucking everything. Steve's top boy.
Ask me to buy something. I'll buy it now. Ask me to buy something.
Steve, back my private medical insurance.
Steve is Britball's version of Jeff Bezos.
I don't know who Jeff Bezos is, so
he's a fucking CEO of Amazon.
He owns Amazon. Someone did come up with a comment about my knee injury. I just want to go back to it and just address it because I don't want to.
And they say they wanted the video.
Yeah, no, we're not. I don't want to glamorize the. It's a disgusting act, and I don't want to. Well, it wasn't an act. It was just horrible that my knee bent backwards. I don't want to. I don't even like. I get like sweaty when I look at it. It's horrible.
What, your knee?
With the knee footage of my knee getting my injury, it's awful.
There's plenty of ones on YouTube that you can go Google and you will find like dudes doing like powerlifters who are just doing doing the leg press. I just want to vomit when I see that. Yeah.
mate, I can't handle them because I've had it. I've done it.
Oh, I get all twitchy. I get all twitchy when I see those.
Yeah, let's move on.
You definitely don't powerlift though, so I won't worry.
Oh no, mate! I've gotten to the point of having not good knee, bad knee. I got bad knee, worse knee. So like it's just I powerlift my breakfast. That's
Right,
fucking I power
let's
through
get
that.
back to guys. I just want to before in the next 20 minutes. I don't even know if we're going to get through it. I didn't think we'd take this long on this.
I'm
But
going
it's
on
funny.
20. I'm
I
going
love
on
that
20.
we do. What's Rainsy posted? He's posted a link here. Download an October FAQs document. I assume that's an FAQs document on the insurance. Can one of you guys post that in the private chat and I'll get it up and we can have a quick look.
I posted one in the private chat, which is the summary of cover.
Yeah, but that's not the one that Coach Rains just
All right,
posted.
Jesus.
Well, what?
Well, what was the relevance? It's just
Yeah.
The summary of cover is probably better.
Has anyone got a blue coat? No, I got a red one.
that's not even that. I got a blue hat.
I got a red hat. I
got green shoes. And can anybody else smell burnt toast?
So this is the one, Will, that you posted. The summary of the cover, and then Coach Rains has posted this this FAQs document. So, Will, can you post these links in the actual stream chats as well, so people can access them, please, bud? So, Rainsy said, where is it? Baffer's FAQs on the insurance. It answers a lot of your questions. Cool. Thanks, Coach. So, yeah, we're just getting those posted up, all those links for people. So it's just not, well, Coach Rains has posted one, but we're getting them posted across all the sites that we're streaming to simultaneously.
And Ryan will share it out to 19 groups.
Yeah, but I guess the answer is who reads it. Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what we need to do is a readout.
Maybe that's one of the frequently asked questions. Who reads this?
Yeah. That's the first one, actually. And mate, look, this is what we probably need to focus on, Will, when we do this. When we do look at the insurance stuff, is go through these documents.
To be fair, that's a very brief overview. The one I sent you is the one that breaks down all the little bits of cover.
It's like 12 pages.
11
what do you
pages,
mean, very
yeah.
brief?
The other one's 3 pages, Will.
Yeah, look at page 2. There you go. There's all your limits for injury. I'm only talking about personal injury. I'm not talking about public liability. I'm not talking about professional indemnity.
Ah, bugger it. I could have got 200 quid.
What should I have got? So I've broken my collarbone. What would that have been? I should have got 500 quid, basically.
Yeah, for maximum any one accident.
Or this.
I could have done with a cheeky 200.
I think I'm permanently disabled because of it.
I think there's a lot of reasons that you're permanently disabled. I don't know if it's to do with the knee.
I'd like to declare that
What did you break? What did you break? I'll tell you how much you got.
I broke my collarbone.
Right, so look on the right, scale of benefits.
Yeah, none of that.
No, you didn't. No, so yeah, you broke your collarbone. So yeah.
Yeah, my clavicle.
Oh, that's bollocks. They won't pay you out for ligament damage unless you actually tear your ACL, PCL, LCL, or MCL. You have to have reconstructive surgery for them to pay you.
Yeah, so I did. So I've had that. So my big injury, Will, tally this up for us. Tell me what I should have got.
Go on then.
Or would get with this policy. So my big injury on my knee was I had to have ACL surgery. So my ACL went. My tendon that attached my muscle, my quad to my knee, that split. My meniscus tore, and my femur bone was hemorrhaging bone marrow. 200
quid.
Just a cheeky couple of hundy.
So
tell you what, though, you could have given that to Hatch, and he might have either lost it for you or doubled it.
It's not worth the paper. It's all that pain for 200 quid.
Yeah, but it's better than nothing.
It was vile as well. And I had to have my knee was that bad that the NHS paid for a private surgeon to fix it.
Oh, they've got a scale of benefits as well.
Yeah.
So if you lose loss of use of the back or spine below the neck with no damage to the spinal cord, you only get paid out 40%.
40% of 50 grand, which is what, 20 grand?
Oh,
Bloody
so
hell.
that scale's relevant to the disability one, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get 50 grand if you go blind.
I'll do that.
Oh, Will, you could do with this. You can get 50 grand. You got loss of speech.
I don't understand. Loss of sight in one eye is the same as loss of sight in both eyes.
Well, it's definitely not. You can
So
see out
could
of one
you do
eye.
two separate claims and get 100 grand?
Maybe.
Like you do one
Well,
year.
be able to make
then
free
you-
claims.
Yeah, but how the fuck are you gonna pass the sight test when they're like, all right, which eye is it? And you're like, oh, it's my
Sight
left.
test.
And they're like, cover your right eye and tell me what you can see. Well, I can't see anything. I've lost sight.
There's
And
no
they're like, all
sight
right.
test, is there?
And then they're like,
You're
cover your
like,
other
that's
one.
my
What
good
can you
eye.
see?
That's my good eye. Oh, it's gone now. Now you know me another 50 grand.
Now you owe me.
If you
Oh,
lose a
God.
toe, you get 15% of 50 grand, which is what, 7.5 grand? I'd lose a big toe for
Would you take
7.5
a toe off?
grand.
Would you take a toe off for 7.5 grand?
Yeah, man.
Oh, it'd have to be like a middle one or something though. I'm not losing a big toe or a little little toe.
No. Look, it doesn't. Any other toe is only 5%. It has to be your big toe, which for 15%.
Oh yeah, nah, fuck that. I'd rather keep the big toe.
So it's
So
2.5 grand for a
if I
middle
use a little toe. So how much is a little toe worth to me?
2.5 grand.
Nah.
Bloody hell.
I say his wage for you, Steve. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I barely get out of bed for that. And then I'll get people arguing me that websites aren't that important.
You don't know shit. I've lost my little toe for this sport.
Yeah. Right. Let's get going. Hold on.
Yeah, because you've only got me for 13 more minutes.
Right. Let's get going with some other stuff because we do need to cover insurance as its own separate thing one day.
I'm going until 12 o'clock tonight again.
No, yeah, I want to go.
I'm going
once
at 9.
Oz goes, we'll wrap up.
I was going to say I'm going at 9:30. So
And then what we get through, and we're not going to do another one of these sessions. I'll elicit everything. So actually, with that in mind, have you guys got anything you want to call out rather than me lead it through? Have a look through. Is there anything that stands out to you?
I mean, we've discussed it in the past, and I think we need to do a bigger show on it. But a clear way to the NCAA pathway to NCAA schools for our youth and junior. I think that's really important, mega important.
Yeah, but
it's up at about an 8.
Hard thing to set up. Didn't we settle on that being something that really is for academies to do, and it's for our clubs to push people in the right directions.
Yeah,
for
that's
that.
why I've got it. It's important, but it's hard. It's really hard. It probably should be.
Why is that hard? Why is it hard to say, oh, you're good at your age? Why don't you go to the NFL Academy or Bristol?
It's not just about pushing them. It's a lot of it's helping them get good game film to send to NCAA. Well, maybe I know what you're saying. Maybe it's getting game film to send to Bristol, and stuff like that. And we've discussed how hard getting game film is.
Yeah. Okay. What, Oz? Anything for you that you want to call out?
I was looking at the compulsory attendance to the coach convention.
Where's that?
Right here in the middle.
So this is of median importance, which is not to be scoffed at. That's quite a decent level of importance, right? But is relatively hard to do.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna I'll put it back, but I personally probably would have bumped it to about here.
So you think it's even harder than where it was?
And I think it's not as important.
Okay, go on then.
Because for the thing is, I'm assuming the coach convention probably is just a single event that runs in one single location. Is my assumption, right?
Yeah, they try to do it middle of the country, so it's sort of.
Yeah, we're talking about Britball as a whole. So we're talking fucking Cornwall to the very peak of Scotland. Land's End to John O'Groats. I do not think that's going to be as easy for everybody to get to that coaching convention. I feel like that's going to be a fair bit of a mission.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but the John O'Groats Giants don't have any coaches, so I wouldn't worry.
I didn't know there was a fucking John O'Groats team. I'm not going to lie. I was literally just rattling off what I remember from someone saying, "Oh, it's peak to peak, isn't it?"
Yeah,
So
you're right that you know. Well, I don't know.
don't get me wrong. I feel like it's some like. Did we have it in the nice to have section above? Should have a level of online delivery now.
Yeah,
No, that'd be so. John, are you
Okay.
saying that as it should, as in
Or
you
is
suggest
it-
it, or that
yeah,
it's going to?
Is that like a Is that a wishful thinking, or the fact that it's
I'll
going
tell
to
you
do
what,
it?
If BAFTA want to contact us, or more specifically me, we can host the convention online for them. You know what I mean? For the people who
What you want us to host the what?
the convention. I'm not saying
No,
We'll already host a furry convention at his house, so he can host one
we don't need
online.
to get involved. We can help them set it up. We don't need to run it. They can run it.
Well, yeah, but it's dead easy to sort. Like, do you know what I mean? It's that you just put a camera in front of the speaker.
Well, exactly.
And then-
So why do we need to be involved?
Well, because they're not.
Because Will wants the acclamation that comes with it, where people are like, "Oh yeah, we had Will Ellis help us set this up," and he's like, "Plaudits."
Anything compulsory when dealing with volunteers pushes into hard.
I'd agree with that. Whenever you've essentially got to enlist people, things get hard because people become very fucking scarce.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good point.
So anything like game day volunteers, fucking photographers, anything like that, whenever they can still be just as important, but when you're starting to need them, I agree with Chris. People become like ghosts.
I feel. Do we know of a game that's ever been not played because there's not been game day volunteers to run the lines? To run the chain, sorry.
I don't personally.
No, so I think it's a ball ache, but it gets done every single 30 times a week. Every single time we've got
No, but we've had games cancelled because fields weren't marked.
That's different.
That requires someone to volunteer to do that.
Yeah, but that's been sometimes that's because the markings that are there are too faded, and the refs are like, "No, I'm not having that." So the club would have got them marked, but they didn't think they needed to, and that's a different matter. What we're saying is on a game day, finding people to get the, which is mission critical, right? Like if you do not have this, the game doesn't go ahead. It's a ball ache, but it gets done, and I don't see it as something that's really hard. It's just it's just not a desirable thing to do.
You're a hypocrite.
Me or Steve? Because I definitely am, but I just need to know why.
I avoid it. I hate it. But that doesn't make me a hypocrite. How does that make me a hypocrite?
Because why are you not turning up early to help out the team?
Because I want to go and watch the game.
Yes, but if everyone else had the same attitude as you, there'd be no game day volunteers.
Cool. I hope they don't. Well, do you know what I mean? So what?
Cool. Well, I hope they don't.
Yeah, fucking good for them. And I don't see how my personal approach to it changes the way that I think if I was in that position, I had to get that job done, I would feel like I purposely will turn up late to a game because I don't want to do any of that shit.
So say you turned up 15 minutes late to a game.
Sorry, why are you gone so low now?
I said, say you turned up to a game 15 minutes late, and when you got there, it hadn't started, and you were like, "Why?"
I'll sit in the car.
Get out there and they go, "Steve, we need somebody to do this. Will you do it?" Would you say yes?
I say no. I'm not. I do.
I've literally been there. I've literally been there when Steve's been asked to run ball.
The most you'll be able to get me to do, and that's if you try really hard, is I'll be the ball boy on our sideline. That's it.
Only because you don't want to fight on the other sideline.
Yeah, because I don't. Because I genuinely get pissed off when I hear the shit that they talk. And you're like, especially if someone says, "Oh, break his legs," or "fuck it," I'm not going to ignore it. So actually,
you just need to play against teams like Hastings or Maidstone. They don't talk shit when they're down 50.
Yeah, just crickets. But yeah, no, but that doesn't make me. I don't see how that makes me a hypocrite. It just, I don't know. I don't see how that makes me hypocritical.
I need to lean this way.
Game day volunteers are really important.
I identify that it's important, but how the fuck is that my job?
Well, you're a player at that club.
Hey?
You're a player at that club.
If I'm a player, I'll be playing.
But what, say you're injured, would you then game day volunteer?
I'll be injured, wouldn't I? I can't. If I can't fucking play the game, you want me to stand with the thing? How injured have I got to be? Because if I'm a little bit injured, I'm playing.
You broke your arm.
He's not going to carry a fucking chains, is he?
Yeah, you're going to carry the chains and you break your arm. You risk injury. You risk injury. Why would you do that? That's daft.
It could be a ball boy.
You risk injury. You're too close to the sideline. See, Will, your logic is failing.
You'd be covered under BAFTA's insurance if you hurt yourself.
No, you're the hypocrite. You were saying that doesn't work.
Get Steve to film his commentary is awesome, but not really fit for public. Yeah, I did.
Oh, you and me both, mate.
I did. Well, I have done some commentary and it was all right. So I'll do commentary because I get to watch the game. But I like when you're doing the change, you don't get to watch. You got some fucking ref telling you what to do, and you're like, and you've got something to do. You're not watching the game. You're watching where the ball is so that you mark the fucking thing properly. And like that's a different experience. So that's what I don't want. I don't want it, and I'm not interested. But it's very important. But it's not my job.
That was what I did in the 2016 season, where I was out for the whole year. I did the commentary for with Maz, and then also ran the Twitter account, and got promptly the Twitter rights taken off me after the Olympians game. Yeah, after the Olympians game, after Lloyd got like his third sack or something, and I tweeted out that he hit that guy so hard his girlfriend's got concussion.
Yeah,
and then one of the guys was like, "Are you even allowed to say that?"
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh no, that dude's granddad's getting flashbacks to World War II," and it was just shit like that. And I got the rights taken off me. They were not happy.
I'm just going to catch up on the comments as we've been going on. There's been more, and we're wrapping this up now anyway. So, anyways, a group from East Kilbride, Edinburgh, and several from Wildcats. Distance isn't an excuse. There was an online convention in 2020. Don't get me started on game day volunteers. We have pulled players to man the lines before. Yeah, I've seen that, or I've heard of that. I don't know if I've actually seen it, but I've heard of that. Cool. As long as it's not me.
I can imagine Coach Rain saying to Steve, you're not playing today. You're on chains.
Yeah, imagine that. Like, imagine being the fucking player picked.
Yeah, and I can imagine Coach Rain saying that to Steve, and Steve getting in his car and going home.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I've got a McDonald's to eat. Go and fuck yourself.
I literally had witnessed many an interaction between Coach Rains and Steve.
And
there was no chance. And there's no chance. There's no chance. One, he was pulling you off the field to man chains, and two, that you would have accepted being pulled off the field to man chains in that example.
Yeah. Well, we always argue like in training because,
because you both always know best.
Yeah. Just because like the way. The drill, like when it's offense versus defense, he obviously wants the offense to win, and I obviously want the defense to win. But obviously, you've got to and he's always right. Obviously, he's like, you got to spy, you got to play as the opposition, not as.
Yeah, we were scout team, not our defense.
Someone, so you got to act like them. And wow, I fucking hit him,
I watched the film. Right. That guy's a boy.
I've got no. There was no. But I'll still stand there and argue about it.
I'm out of time.
All right, mate. Well, we'll catch up with you soon, Oz.
I've got to go to work, so.
And enjoy your work, mate.
Oh, I never do. I don't even know how to hang. I don't know how to hang this up.
Them glasses?
Oh, well, I'll remove you.
Okay.
You might need to. All right, bud. Oh, he did. He got rid of himself. What else have we got? I'm just reading some of the comments, and then we'll go. This year's BAFTA convention was online and videos are still available for all registered coaches. That's awesome. I didn't realise that. I knew it was online. I didn't realise that they kept it on demand, which is perfect, right? Wilkin has said, so depending on the date of the convention, it falls on the same weekend as Jags camp or school holidays. And I'm sorry, I'm only see my son in the holiday, so it can take a long walk off a short cliff. So yeah, it doesn't marry up with you. You should be so bitter about it, Adam. It's just doesn't marry up with your schedule. Staying qualified is important. Convention is easy and useful for CPD points.
Can I just say quickly, Adam won't agree with this, but I'd say it's more important than the Jags camp.
Yeah. Is it more important? Depends on what your motives are, right? Like I'm pretty sure this is Adam's livelihood, right? Like he earns money out of it. So
if you're a professional Jags coach, then yeah, of course. But if you're a volunteer coach who's going to the Jags camp before going to,
Will, are you quite far away from your mic? Because you're quite low. Your sound.
No, it's right in front of me.
Yeah, it's weird. Oh, sorry. Hopefully it's coming through all right. No one's moaning, but it's just really like I've got my sound up like 100% now, and it's usually really loud and it's quite quiet. But anyway, right. So, but yeah, so I think with Adam it's a case of his, it is his livelihood, and I think he'd like to go to it, but he's got to think about a bigger picture. Right. Have come very close a number of times on game days. Opposition have had to help as well. This coach saying about my commentary. But you're insured, are you? He's talking about me getting hit with a broken arm. I am insured. I still don't want to get hit with a broken arm. And that if I turned out with a broken arm and they tried to use that and say, oh, but it's okay, Steve, you're insured, I'd just laugh. I'd be like, no. 50 grand worth of injury. Why do people expect someone to spend their personal time organising things for unthankful people? What's in it for them? Why do people expect someone to spend their personal time organising things?
What you were saying about what you expect there to be game day stuff.
Yeah, well, the argument from them is always you get the best seat in the house, and like you don't. For me, like it's one of the worst. I don't get to concentrate. But yeah, but don't I know some clubs will offer like, oh, we'll give you a burger, or like we'll get you a drink after it or whatever, or they chuck people a $5 and all that. And I get like that's cool. It's still not of an incentive enough for me. I just wouldn't do it. But like I get it.
You might be able to hear me better now.
Oh yeah, much better. Bloody hell! What happened?
It was coming through the webcam and not the professional mic I've got here.
Chris has said, would I refuse if the game can't go ahead? I don't think that there'll ever be a situation where me refusing to do it would cease the game to go ahead.
You cop out.
What?
That was a simple yes and no question, and you're sitting on the fence.
How am I sitting on? I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm saying I don't like. That's not going to happen, is it?
It could do.
Well, okay. If it was my team, and if I turned up to a club that wasn't my club and they asked me, I'd be like, no. If it was my team and there was like in this fantasy situation that will never exist, that it was me or nothing, then I would do it. That's the only, then I would.
Fair enough.
But not for like, if it's the other club, we'll take the fucking forfeit. Get fucked. I expect at least a hot dog and a Freddo. Yeah, free burger. Adam said, then you're fucking wrong, Will. I don't know what that's a reference to.
About Jags convention over Jags camp.
As a player, Jags camp is defo important. Yeah, but he's talking as a coach. Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah. As a player, what's more important? The opportunity to go to Jags camp or the opportunity to go to the coaching convention? It's an obvious one, right? Like it's the camp. You learn more. I learned a lot more at Jags camp from sitting in film rooms and watching drills, etc., than the convention. See, that's a bit more of a controversial statement because aren't you missing out, Adam, on important networking opportunities? Yeah, I know Adam's well connected, right? Like
Adam's quite good at networking.
People he knows up in the northeast is unreal. But yeah, I'd sort of pose that question to him. Deafness is covered by the insurance, Steve.
That's because you couldn't hear me, but now it was my fault, not your deafness.
Yeah, it's your mic. Will's been quiet all session. Right. Yeah, so it is. Yeah, there you go, Will. You messed up. We'll have to go back and re-record it. Coach Rain, Steve just wanted the chains. Yeah. And Waterboy. I do Waterboy. I'm happy doing Waterboy. I get to watch a game. And then I got told off doing Waterboy once. So I was Waterboy. I don't know what I like. I don't think it's probably an injury or a season that I wasn't playing. and I ran on and give him the water, and I was like, watch out for this guy, do that. And the ref told Will, he said, you can't coach. And I was like, I'm not a coach. I'm not. He's like, you can't tell them anything. And I was like, oh, right, okay. So I actually got told off as a water boy once for giving advice to the players. Adam quite callously has said, if I want networking, I jump on LinkedIn. That's nonsense.
Can I just say,
there's no substitute, Adam. There's no way that you get the same benefit of jumping on LinkedIn as you would attending a convention.
I was just about to say, I think he should do a show on that.
Jag's decision. Gav says he does both. Or he's no, he's not saying he does both. He's saying Adam to do both.
You can't, because it's the same weekend usually.
Mrs. Rains deals with the game. Yeah, that's one of the tough ones, turning down Mrs. Rains. I remember those days. They're the same week normally, Gavin. If they don't end up the same week, the convention falls on a half-term holiday, which is for his little boy. Only the year before last, because they moved the convention because of the coaches. Anyway, right, so we're done with this whole topic now. And like as I've said throughout the whole thing, I'm now going to go. I don't know if I'll be on the next few of these. Will's going to sort of take the lead on them. I'm going to take this content, turn it into other content that can help clubs, that can help people. And like I said, approach Baffle with some of the questions that we've got. Hopefully have answers for them and sort of close a lot of these loops off, which would be quite nice. I don't want this to just be, like I say, point in time conversation. I want there to actually be something good that comes out of it. And moving forward, my involvement in Gridiron Hub Live is to jump back in, whenever they want me to come in, I'll come on, but to come back in with key defined sessions that have a resource benefit for clubs or people in the game. So I want to be involved in stuff that just like this, where we farm information, if you like. We get all this information together and these ideas, and then I take it away, analyze it, structure it, and then have output from it. This first one has been focused on what makes a club good, quite an easy place to start. But I do want to, we'll probably drill in on some of these things. I do like the idea of giving more tiered advice for websites and social media, and how clubs can get involved, and what tools there are, and what strategies there are, and how to build an online presence. I think that would be of use to a lot of clubs. I don't know, they may say it's not, but yeah, that's what I want. I want Gridiron Hub, as well as being this media thing that it's got, is also to be a resource and a help, and to help clubs in the long term. We're looking at having things that help you out from an IT perspective. So you sort of outsource the IT side of things, and we help you out with that. We're a bit way away. We're a bit far away from that at the moment, but we're just building up things slowly. And I want to start making sure that the content and the conversations we're having, while entertaining, actually have a value to them as well. But Will, over to you. What is it that you wanted to share about? You said you wanted to talk a little bit about the.
It's just a case of. Obviously, over the past couple of weeks, you've seen the Gridiron Hub stream.
I'll just quickly say, sorry, John, I'd love that, mate. Send it to me. Oh, yeah, another one was sponsorship I wanted to help out with. There's a couple of things. But, yeah, John, it'd be great to have that. Sorry, Will.
I think he was. Have you seen Chris's? Chris has come up with a good idea. So whether he was replying to that, I don't know. Not necessarily. Yeah.
So, hold on, yeah. But let me just answer that. So, yeah, we've currently got, Chris, about 20, I think it's 20 volunteers. Is that right, Will, that we've got involved in Gridiron Hub? And they're varying levels of interest. And it's something that I've got ideas and strategies for, in terms of, because the stuff that we've got, we've asked for, we've said to people, come and join us, etc. And people have responded, but you get a lot of people dropping out, and it's really hard to drive people in the certain, to do certain things consistently for a long period of time. But there's definitely things that I want to do to stand up and establish things a little bit better. And I'm more than happy to discuss that and talk about that in the future. So that's another one. I'll make sure I make a note of it. And because we've got this, we've got shared documents that we've got, and we've got a shared notepad that's got all of these ideas for different shows. So I'll add that onto it as well, Chris. But yeah, the volunteering thing, we exist on volunteers, and it's about, I think in a nutshell, it's about getting people that that buy into the vision and the brand and the direction of what you're doing.
Definitely.
I suppose, Will, you're a good one to talk about this. You haven't been involved in Gridiron Hub that long, have you? Like, do you mind me asking you, why are you involved in us, and why are you still here? Why are you doing stuff?
Well, to be fair with me, I've obviously followed the website loosely for the past 3 years since you started. I stopped coaching a year ago, but still followed the website. And then obviously you hosted the Madden tournament was it 2 months ago during the lockdown?
Yeah, well, we did two during lockdown. One was three. We did three, sorry. One was the intro one to test it out. Then we did the big baffle one, and then we did a smaller, more competitive one.
Yeah, so I was in the smaller, more competitive one at the end.
Yeah.
And I really, really like the idea of you doing that sort of stuff. So I just started messaging you kind of jokingly saying, get me on commentary. It would be fun. And we've kind of just got chatted from there. And for me, when I came across your vision of what you've got for Gridiron Hub.
Oh, Will, I think I've lost your audio, mate. Yeah, there we go. Oh, hold on. Your mic's muted. It says it's not connected. Right, just while he sorts that out, I'm just going to go through some of these other comments. Sean said he wants to come in for that volunteer show. He's messaged me privately on our Teams chat as well. Yeah, no worries, Sean. Steve, you need to talk to Highland and see if you can stream their awards night. We'll talk about it offline, Adam. I don't know why I'd do that, but yeah, cool. That was more generic than driving volunteers. Will, are you back? No, you're still muted. I don't know why you're muted. Will, drop out and then come back in, because I can chat until you come back. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Some technical issue. Adam said if it's Zoom, I have no issues. Oh, right, he's talking about attending the online thing. Adam said take him off big screen. No, yeah, he's just dropped out. Here he is. Will?
Hello.
Yeah, there we are. Sorry. So. Yeah. You got to the point where you said that you contacted us.
Yeah, so I contacted. Yeah, I contacted you. We had obviously a bit of laugh on the Facebook comments, and then just from speaking to you, really, I saw your vision of what you've got for Gridiron Hub, and more importantly, American football within the UK. And there was just a switch in my head that said I wanted to be a part of that. And we just kind of got chatting from there, and we have pretty similar views on certainly this stuff, the streaming and whatnot. And so that, for me, I enjoy doing it, and have a laugh at the same time. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, cheers to that, John. So I think and I think from my perspective, the generosity and the time that these people give for this cause is not lost on me. I'm very grateful. I have to do it with a very relaxed mind. Like if Will says to me, Steve, I've got to stop doing this for a month, I go, cool, we'll see you when you're back. And if you come back, you have to just I suppose some advice there is you have to, be passionate about it, but then understand that other people may not be as passionate as you. And it's okay, and you just take what people are willing to offer. Don't sweat them as assets. That's a big thing as well. Don't give people Will would get into the stage where he's messaging me saying, Steve, I want to do something else. Can you give me my next project? And I was like, yeah, sure. And it's not because I'm trying to close everything off. I just don't. If I throw everything at Will's a good example because he's a new recruit, right? If I throw everything at him. It would be, I would just think what the fuck's this guy doing, I also have to be seen, and I think everyone knows, but it's important to me that everyone realizes that I'm the most busy one. I do the most. I do the most work. I put the most into it, and that's financially, emotionally, my time. I constantly am doing stuff and communicating with the guys and trying to help them out. I think having a vision in place, like a goal, somewhere we're heading towards, that is I suppose there's like SMART goals. There's like achievable, that makes sense, that's realistic, but also ambitious at the same time. I think that sort of is what's helped light a fire under people, and I don't see it as any different. Although I don't run a club, but I don't see it as any different for a club. Like if you're a club at any level, you can aspire and have a vision, you can have aspirations, and you can want to drive to do something. And it's about sharing that message and understanding that everyone needs to try and pull in that same direction. And that maybe sound a bit too fluffy, but then there are some more practical things like I want to start getting involved with, and I'm getting well into it now when I said I wouldn't, but I hope this is giving you guys some ideas. Like I want to do stuff like get local schools involved. Not local school, there's a college near me. And so why don't I speak to their journalism students, well, not the students, but the lecturers and the media guys and people that are doing, I don't know, sports science or whatever, and get them to help out with stuff and see if they can do it as part of their project. So like their project work. So at least you've got them for a school year or maybe even 2, and maybe in that time they buy into your vision, and out of the 3 or 4 that you get involved, 1 stays on because they want to be around. Like I think it does take a lot of time, but like that's an idea that I've got that I haven't done yet, so I can't speak from experience, but that logically makes sense to me. That because we had a guy, Tyler, who does our Daft Kings our Daft Kings podcast. He was at DMU University as a journalist student, and Gridiron Hub is a company. So what we were able to do was he was able to work voluntarily for Gridiron Hub and write content, and it went towards his credit for his degree. So what I'm thinking about is maybe trying to multiply that as well. So at college level, I like the idea of college because it's local, and you're more likely, I think, for a team, you're more likely to get local people that support a local branded sport. But I think with Gridiron Hub, we could easily go to Edinburgh and Manchester and all the big universities because we are a national or international brand. So I think there's different ways of getting different people involved, but for me to stick around, for getting them to stick around, there's constant communication from me, constant effort, but I also listen to everyone and give them ideas and like give them, I suppose, empowerment. So like Will is now going to take you, and this is what sort of leading on to this. Will's now going to take you through what he's going to do with Gridiron Hub Live so that I can step back. I had to step in to set it up, to run it, to help. Like me and Will working really closely together to get all this stuff done, pick the software, get these graphics in place, train people on how to do it, decide to then go to market with it and get, we've now got 4 live streams out of a 5-day week, like that's, and we're looking at getting a 5th one. So like there's all of that stuff has come from my relationship with Will and him coming into this and him asking me stuff and me sort of saying, yeah, I think that'll work. And if it doesn't, we'll drop it. And, I think if you're trying to be too much of a dictator in it and say, this is what I need you to do for this reason, you don't go outside of it, people are going to think, oh, well, I'm working to this guy's agenda and it's not worth it. So I try to give those people that get involved as much freedom and flexibility and get the creative space that I think that I would want. And it doesn't always work. Like we've got 20 people involved now with varying levels of involvement. Like Adam does tips for the NFL once a week. The Breens, they'll do articles and they'll do tips, and they also want to get involved in the live streams. James is probably outside of me and Hatch, who are the 2 main people that own and run Gridiron Hub. James does everything. James does tips, he does picks, he does, and this is like back end stuff. He does articles, he does all the press releases that come out. He hosts a podcast. He attends other podcasts. He runs the Twitter page live. He does live tweets when NFL games are on. Like that's 8 things that one guy does, and we've built that over time. Like he started off with one thing and we get more and more, and he buys into it and he loves it. And they've got freedom within that to James can do what he wants, and he knows he can come to me with ideas and it all works. So you need to find the right type of people, but you need to have a vision to be able to explain and articulate and see if they come on board with it. And that's, I think that's, in a nutshell, that's it. But I do want to talk more tactics about it, Chris, and we can do it another time, like where we talk more about actual volunteer involvement and what we can do for
you know what? It's not a bad idea for a show. Putting a
I think
live
it
show.
is,
Live show.
And that's what I'll do. I'll earmark it and I'll put it down as a show and we can start talking, because I'm very interested. Like, I don't know all the answers. I'm telling you from Gridiron Hub's perspective, right? But we are quite intricate. We're remote. I've never met Will. I've never met him. I've never met Adam. I've never met James. I've never met Tyler. Those guys have been involved with Gridiron Hub for 2 years. So there's like, it's, and that brings its own level of complexity, right? Like, there's this like distant relationship thing, and how do I keep those people involved and motivated, and so it's I can share my story and what my plans are for this stuff, but I would say I've failed more times than I've succeeded, but we've got at the moment enough success to exist in the format that we do and put out the amount of content that we do, and at the moment we're lucky. I could find in 2 months' time I'm down to 5 people, and we're scraping the barrel and trying to get stuff done, and failing, like we're having to close things down. We can't do picks, we can't do tips, because we just don't have the people. But at the moment, I suppose it's a bit buoyant for us, but I'd never feel that it's long term until I get to the stage that we can start employing and paying people, which I intend to, in good time. Like, it's no time soon. I'll make that clear to everyone. Everything's done on a whim. Everything's done on, are you interested in this? Cool. Let's get you doing it. How do I keep you excited? Constant communication and keeping them involved. Cool. Anyway, sorry. I know that was a really elaborate answer, but I sort of got carried away there. But sorry, Will. I'll let you carry on now, mate.
No, I mean, you've kind of encompassed what we were going to go through. So obviously, going forward, the idea is with Gridiron Hub Live is to discuss the things that you want to see us discuss. So next Friday, we're going to come out with a new kind of show, which is going to be called Be the Ref. So we're going to be joined by Roger Goodgrove, who's the BAFRA Director of Operations. What he's going to be doing is giving us the opportunity to make a call on a play and then telling us what the correct call was. So you'll finally see the debut of Ryan Cummings, who's in chat.
Ryan's in that, isn't it?
Ryan's coming in.
Have you got a full panel yet?
No, not yet. That's what I was going to say. If anybody out there who's watched the show is really interested in joining in that, please let me know. I've got 2 spaces. Cool. I preferably like a fan and a player. There is, don't get me wrong, there is people I can ask, but I'd like to give the viewers the chance to come on the show. And certainly people who are here every week. So,
right. So I thought it was Wednesday. Yeah, it is.
It is next Wednesday. What did I say?
I don't know. I didn't hear another day. But anyway.
Yeah. And then the week after that, we're going to be discussing pre-game music and what people listen to. So there's a load of stuff that's going to be coming. This Gridiron Hub Live is going to definitely not be going away, and Steve is definitely going to be coming back because I've told him that.
Well, there's the idea for an idea that I had for a show. Was we called it Condemned. So the idea is that we get a panel on, and it's basically Room 101, where the panel share with the host the thing that they want to condemn from Britball or the sport, and they plead their case. So there's 4 of them. They all plead their case, take their time to say about it, and obviously interact with the audience. And then the host at the end decides, okay, this is the thing that we're going to condemn this week, or this show. So just a little bit of fun and a good way of having a laugh. So there's loads of different things, and I suppose I should probably extend it now. Like if anyone is interested in getting more involved with us,
that's what I was going to say.
With live streams, then just get in touch. Like, we've got an abundance of work, and I suppose I shouldn't call it work, but it is things that need to be done, and that can be stuff that is non-creative, so more administrative, and it can be stuff that is highly creative and hard and very low administration. and yeah, there's always room for more. We're always doing more stuff.
Yeah, we're always open to ideas as well. Like I said, I'd love people to say, "Look, I'd like a show in this." Like, I was really pleased that Chris just said that.
Yeah, it's
like,
a good idea.
You know, I don't want to do a show about pre-game music if no one's going to watch it.
Yeah.
But we will do a show about how to get volunteers if people will watch it. You know, we want you to help us provide you the right content.
So a couple of the guys have popped up and said why they're involved, which is cool. So Ryan, Adam said the only reason I do it is simply because I love this sport and I want it to get better. So I appreciate that, Adam. And then Ryan has said I'm involved as it's nice to meet more people in the communities of Britball. Yeah, so that's a good point. You actually, you know, and that's something since I started doing this, you get exposed to every part of Britball. And people from every part of Britball. Like I didn't know. Do you know? I didn't even know Div 2 teams when I first started doing so I started off in Gridiron memes, right? And I can remember me and Hatch trying to figure out. We thought of memes that were for like bad club, like you know, like this would be for a poor club. And we created the meme. We knew the idea, but we didn't have a club to attach it to. And we then went on, I think, some website. I don't know what one. Probably a Baffle one. And we looked through all the records of all this, and we went all the way down to Div 2 and saw like the most losing team, and it was the Maidstone Pumas. And so we made a meme about the Maidstone Pumas, and they massively kicked off about it. So we were like, oh, we'll do that again, and we'll do that. And it just become a running theme for us. Like
you hammered the Maidstone Pumas.
Yeah, well,
that's
because of a guy that was running them at the time that was just an arsehole. But, you know, and we just were like, well, fine, we'll just keep going, mate. You know, fuck you. But what I'm saying is like, you know, from getting involved with Gridiron memes, like, what was that, 7-8 years ago?
Say, that would be a great show, the conversation about you and Gridiron memes.
I don't know.
Because obviously you're not
I don't think people are that interested in it.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I'd be interested to know what other people think, but obviously you're not connected anymore. But you obviously play a massive...
I don't mind talking about it.
Yeah.
I get asked about it quite a lot. You know, if people want to fucking talk to me about it, they ask me questions and stuff. And you do, like, what normally happens is people are like, oh, you involved with Gridiron memes? And like, yeah, and they're like, oh, I love this one, or this one caused trouble at my club. And then we just talk about it. So it's not necessarily about like it's more about the content than it is about the behind the scenes and how we, you know, our coming of age story, right? I was part of one of the memes. Anyone remember Twats Cummings? No?
I'm looking for that right now.
Let's not delve in. James said he's involved with the fame. Yeah, James is the man. What else is there? Chris Breen, next Wednesday, looking to... plays. Oh, cool. Yeah, he's just tagged his brother in it. That'd be cool to get one of the Breens on. Or maybe even both of them. I don't know. We'll see. It's up to you. It's your show. But yeah, so the point is like, my point isn't that I got into that big discussion, was you get well exposed to so many different people and so many different parts of the sport. Like I think you could name any uni and I'd know the name of their American football team. You know, like I just sort of, and I never knew any uni ball teams. I maybe knew Loughborough, that was it. You know, and the Stingers because they were associated with the Knights at one point, but I didn't know them. And you just sort of build this stuff up. And we're starting to now branch into the women's game, under 19s, under 16s. Me and Will were working on some data for that to pulling together. And hopefully that'll, at the moment, it's just static content so people can look up clubs, but we're looking to develop that into actual reports and, you know, articles on them. But, you know, obviously, again, that's based on who's involved with us and who's got the knowledge to be able to write about it. So, so like for me, we've got highly ambitious plans for Gridiron Hub, stuff that you guys probably won't even associate to us at the moment. Like we're going into different markets that probably you would never tie into us at the moment. But they're going to, you know, Gridiron Hub is going to be completely it's not going to be different because it's going to be the same thing. We're going to just continue to add to it, and there'll be loads and loads of facets to it. But starting with the redesign of the homepage, which is hopefully a couple of weeks, and that'll be out. But I was surprised we got into this, but it's cool to see people. There's some level of interest in it, but yeah, if anyone is interested in, like, we do get a lot of clubs now contact us on, particularly on Instagram at the moment, but just on Facebook as well. Like, can you share this content? Like, we've done this video, we've got this poster, can you share that? And, you know, we're always willing to do that stuff. So if you do want to, like, if you just want to bounce ideas off of us, or you've got something you want us to get involved with, then let us know. Like, we're always open to opportunities, even if it's not, you don't want to get, you know, you don't want to come and join us as a volunteer. If it's something you want to link up with and associate and partner on, then let us know. Like, but that's how we've got Hail Mary Hits involved. Like, they approached us asking us to just publish some content, like, just to tell people they existed, some advertising. And I was like, hold on, why don't we? And we then developed this whole ticketing system on our website for them, and they run over 100 grand's worth of payments for our website. You know, so there's always things that like we're looking at doing, and you know, if we can help out clubs and we can make things better for you, then we'll do our best.
Yeah, I was just say, like we said, you know, in the Brit Ball conversation last week, we're here to help. You know, you guys do what you guys want to do. Just come. You know, there's a wealth of people here, whether it's insurance, marketing, websites. You know, there's a wealth of knowledge here that we want to share, and I think that's why you know, that's what we want to offer as well. So,
I'm just seeing this link that you sent me. Was it Ryan's meme?
Yeah, it's hilarious, to be fair.
I will put it on screen. I don't.
It's
really
not that bad, is it?
Gridiron memes content, but just because it's Ryan, he's one of our guys. We'll get him. We'll put it up. I do remember this meme. There you go. There's Ryan on the right. That's hilarious. Where's that from? May 2018. So it wasn't, I suppose, too long ago. But there we go. Right, cool. Will, you got anything else that you want to say before we shoot off?
No, just thank you for everyone for watching. And like I say, please contact us with any ideas or anything you want to see. That would really be great.
Cool. And I'll definitely be back on Gridiron Hub Live, but just not regular.
I feel like this is a sad farewell, like, you know.
That's all right. Well, this is what I want to do this is what I do at Gridiron Hub, right? Like, I work on development, so I set something up and then I try and find someone that can, you know, take it on and adopt it and help it then grow and sustain. And like we've got someone that looks after the raffles now, and I'm slowly bringing him on, and he'll be able to do those. And so we should be doing more raffles soon. And Hatch is now taking over picks for me, which is going to be great because it's really time consuming. You know, we've got the different guys doing different podcasts. We've got guys doing articles, like all of that stuff. At one point in time, I started off doing the articles, and I figure it all out, figure out if it's sustainable and if it's something we can and want to do, and then I open it up for other people to do. Like that's the model. So what I'll do now is move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and just keep adding and keep growing. And you know, we do have setbacks in that. Like I said, like it could be that next week we lose someone and I have to then jump back and do tips or whatever. Like, but like,
I am not taking your NFL tips. Never.
No, I'm not saying you
Never.
would. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the nature of Gridiron Hub. It's like we grow, then we experience growing pains, and then we might have to shrink a bit, and then we grow again. And that's just, it's that constant expansion and contraction that we've done since we started. And things get overlooked, and things aren't as slick as they need to be. And that's why we're getting the website updated now, because I want it to look awesome. And I mean, you've seen the design. What did you think of the design?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's cool, isn't it? Yeah, I'm really pleased with it.
It's
and
pretty good.
I'm really looking forward to the. And then, like, so once he's done that, he's going to do the mobile site and then the app as well, because we've got an app that people don't know about. And so, like, it's all, you can download it now if you want. No, like, so there's all this stuff that we've got lined up, and yeah, my role in this is like, what do we do next? What's the right thing? How do we do it? You know, who needs to be involved, and then operate it, and then work it, and then decide if we continue with it and who continues with it. So, you know, they don't involved in any of it. Like, I jump in on everything, but I can't lead the Gridiron Hub Live stuff because I've got other stuff to get on with, you know. So yeah, but I'm not done with it. Like I don't know if I run Condemned. I like the idea of Condemned, but it doesn't need to be my show. But I definitely want to come back in and like talk about volunteers and talk about stuff that help drive the clubs forward. I really want to be more progressive in my conversation than critical. I don't mind. I think criticism should have its own place, and we're a platform for that. But I don't feel, as the person that owns and runs Gridiron Hub, that it should come from me.
No. And what we do at Gridiron Hub is give. Oh, sorry, a lot of big echo there. We give people the opportunity to state their opinions.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's an article or whether it's on a live stream.
Yeah.
You know, you state your opinion. You know, that's everyone's entitled to their opinion. They're not always right, but everyone's entitled to them.
Something that and you'll know this as well as a lot of the other guys that have, especially those guys that have been on the live stream. I've always said to them, like Oz, Adam, you, who else has been on a live stream? Quinn,
Owen.
All of those guys. I said to them, like, it's okay to have a different opinion, but you need to be able to voice it in a mature way and be able to reason with it. You need to be able to. Someone needs to be able to converse with you over it, and they may even convince you, but they don't have to. But you need to be able to just listen and. Because I think what happens too often, particularly with online mediums where people are reading what other people have written, they misinterpret it. There's no context, there's no attenuation, there's no voice, there's no body language, and people end up just rubbing each other up the wrong way. And so what I wanted to have a lot of these same conversations and give a platform for that, but in a nice way where people actually, agree to disagree. Great, no problem. Like, you're in Camp A, I'm in Camp B. That doesn't mean we don't want.
You had to bring camp into the conversation, didn't you?
Yeah, Jags camp. You're in Jags camp.
Not in Jags camp, just domestic camp.
Yeah,
remember the 5-hour show about camp?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, so that's that's what I want Gridiron Hub to be and to become, is like a platform that people can rely on for information and people can express. And venting's fine as long as it's not like angry, shouting, screaming, abusive stuff. It's okay to be passionate and to express opinions, and that's what I want. And one of the ideas that I also had was to have like a call-in show. So because with this new software, we can just send out a link and anyone can join us. So what I'd like to do is pick a topic. And then people come in and just say, yeah, I've done this, I did that, or whatever, just like.
I'll tell you what, we might test drive that for the music, the pre-game music one in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. We just need to make sure we're not doing it on. If you're going to be sharing the music, you can't do it on.
Yeah, we won't do it. We'll be doing it on solely Facebook.
Yeah, well, you can do Facebook and Twitch. You can't do YouTube.
To be fair, we've got one person watching on Twitch, and that's Mr. Platypus. So
yeah, he loves it.
He does.
So Chris has said, yeah, they definitely want to be on it. And Adam's now done a plug. Join me Monday for my brand new show, Condemned. Yeah, get fucked. So I'll be turning his live stream off. Cool. All right, guys. We'll sign off there. So thanks, guys. Thanks for turning the conversation to us. Actually, that was a bit weird.
Yeah,
but it's nice.
The more interaction, the better for us, isn't it? That's what we want. Yeah. You guys to ask us stuff and comment.
Yeah, we're open. We're always here, and there's a lot more to come from us. So, so far so good, and this has been fantastic launching Gridiron Hub Live. But we're not done, and there's always room for improvement and room for more ideas and more involvement. So, yeah, cheers. And Chris has said, great show, guys. Yeah, cheers, mate.
Chris.
And we'll be back next. So this show's every Wednesday evening. We've got a Monday evening. I'll plug the whole lot now. The stream. So Mondays is Adam and Brickball in. So these guys are. The idea is that they want to get that, like, they're going to have a lot more guests on than us. And they're going to speak to different coaches, and they want to. Adam in particular wants to talk about like the development of the game and youth and stuff, because he knows it and he can he'll talk all day about it. So that's going to be really interesting content there. Tuesdays we've got open as like for specials if we do one at the moment. We do want to have a permanent fixture in there, but we don't have one yet. Wednesdays, Gridiron Hub Live. So this show, again, like we've just got different ideas of how we want to bring entertainment and content and hopefully value to the audience. Thursdays is Armchair QBs. That's Callum and Dan, and that they are, well, Will, you went on this show. They are like the most uber geekiest strategic people like the football brains that I've ever come across.
Do you know what? It was really funny when I went on the show. Just quickly, because we had this agenda we were going to go through, and I think within about 2 minutes, Callum realised that I knew nothing about like what he was discussing on the agenda, and he just skipped it. It was like, we're going to talk about what such and such coach does and such coach runs.
Yeah, that's it. Like he knows about how different coaches will compete with other coaches, and the classic like, I know he knows about the West Coast offense, but he'll go into massive detail about it and different times of the season, and like so if you like, I really like that content. He does focus a lot on the NFL, but he does know about other leagues, but really good stuff on a Thursday. Then Friday, that's the fantasy football show. So Daft Kings, hosted by James and Tyler. Both of those guys have been heavy contributors to Gridiron Hub. James is the single heaviest contributor to Gridiron Hub ever. I think outside even more than me in terms of articles, which is pretty impressive. And Oz sometimes goes on that one. I've seen him on that one a couple of times. And they do they run a fantasy football league, and they geek out about the NFL and who's doing what, and way over my head a lot of it. Although we paid for some software called Sleeper, which hosts the fantasy football league, and I find that quite interesting watching them use that. So that's on a Friday evening. That's probably about an hour's show. And that's it. We don't do anything Saturday, Sundays at the moment because of the NFL season. We'll probably address that and move things around after the NFL season. So that's our streaming, portfolio at the moment. If you guys, like I said, if you guys want to get involved with it, we're pleased to have you as viewers. But if you ever want to come on as guests or even host, guest host or whatever, we're more than happy to. It's we want Gridiron Hub to be a platform that people use. That's the word I keep pushing to everyone. Platform. We're the platform that people spring from, and we amplify messages for people. That's how I want us to be seen, rather than us being a voice of our own. We're not there yet. We're a little bit of both at the moment, but that's the trend that we're trying to head towards. So anyway, right, we'll leave it there. Will, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah, it was good fun, and we'll catch up with you guys next week. And thank you very much. Cheers,
See you later.